OP event or helping host one. Then here we've got a blind booster. Blind boosters were given away at certain OP events. You didn't know what they were when you got them. I think I bought this one in bulk. Then we've got a standard expansion. So this is the classic blister pack. They don't make these anymore. Well, sometimes they do reprints, but that's pretty rare. And then finally in the back, we've got a faction pack. Now, the one type of expansion that's missing currently from this setup is a retail card pack. They do exist, but they're kind of hard to find sometimes. But I think we've got a nice collection here. So let's start with the IRW Timet. So this ship was from, I think it was the episode Message in a Bottle from Voyager, and it was a Romulan Dideridex class that was dispatched to attack and steal the Prometheus. So let's see. So you get your cardboard. Now, if you're buying a retail pack, it won't come with a, a maneuver dial, because the assumption is you already own one. So let's see. This has here a +1 attack, -1 evade with your primary weapon reminder token for the IRW Timet. So that has something to do with its named ability. Gives you 1 shield. Again, you wouldn't get the shield with the card pack if it was retail, but this is a prize one, so it's a bit different. So let's begin. The IRW Timet. It is a Dideridex coming in with a... Ooh, let's lower the brightness a bit. There we go. I'll have a card on the screen that you can actually read. This camera does not have an autofocus or a manual focus, believe it or not. Anyway, it's not built for this sort of thing. Oh, here, almost forgot. We've got the base and the generic captains. So this is back when they were still giving out generic captains. Alright. IRW Timet. 3264. So you'll hear that phrase before, like online and in reviews, people just say 4 numbers. That is in order: attack, agility, hull, and shields. 3264. So Dideridexes tend to come in on the more defensive side. So this has an action. If your ship is not cloaked when attacking with your primary weapon at range 1 this round, gain +1 attack dice and -1 defense dice. What would I rate this on my scale of 1 to 7? Well, it's an action to gain an attack die. That's normally not that great. You're losing a defense die. Now, you still have 1, because it's a base of 2, but you're not cloaked, so you can't rely on that. So, let's see. Well, it's your primary weapon, so your primary weapon's a 3. You gain the +1 with this named ability, then +1 for being at range 1. You're now attacking with 5. Now, see, normally I would say that's not the greatest named ability, but Dideridex ships need more attack dice. That's the one thing they need a lot, and we're probably going to see some of that in the new Romulan faction pack. So I would say that this is actually a good ability for a Dideridex class ship. You're boosting your attack up to 5. You don't need to put on any secondary weapons. If you do put on secondary weapons, you could put on the 2 secondary weapons that boost Dideridex attack dice by 2. So now you're rolling 6, well, you're actually rolling 7, because your primary weapon range 1 bonus is not considered a modifier. So you got your 3 base, 1 for range 1, 1 for the named ability, and then 2 more for the other 2 cards which you've equipped. And this ship has 2 weapon slots, so you can equip those 2 cards to this ship. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head. One came with the T-Rex, which was a Mirror Universe Dideridex upgrade. I think it was 2 points, so if you put it on this, it costs 3. The other one comes with, I think it's additional phaser array, maybe? That doesn't sound right. but it comes with the Romulan faction pack. And it's 3 points for a Daenerys. So for 6 points, you can boost this up to a 7 attack. So I'd say this is actually a good card, and I would play it. So let's remember my scale. 1 equals bad. 2 equals okay. 3 equals good. 4 equals good, and I would play it. 5 equals great. 6 equals great, and I would play it. And 7 equals amazing. So this is a 4. Good, and I would play it. Alright. Next we have self-repair technology. Oh, let me just move those off to the side. Self-repair technology. So this is actually a card that I think I've used, like I really want to use, because I've played in, I think, an online game, and I ended up using this in the online version before I even opened this set, and I was like, wait, according to Utopia, I own this card. What? And I looked around and couldn't find it, and then I realized it was in my sealed Temet. Okay, alright. Self-repair technology. After your ship performs a green maneuver, you may disable this card to repair 1 damage to your ship's hull for 4 points. This upgrade can only be purchased for a Romulan ship. No ship may be equipped with more than 1 self-repair technology upgrade. Okay, so here's the thing. It's a green move, and you disable, you repair the damage. Okay. And you have to re-enable, so it's 2 actions. It's 1 to re-enable. Oh no, it's only 1 to re-enable. So you can treat this as sort of a delayed action, repair 1. But it's 4 points, and you have to cost a green maneuver. Well, Romulans have a lot of... Actually, no, I don't think they have too many throwaway damage cards. Okay. Well, looking at this from a faction pure perspective, this is actually pretty good. Because Romulans don't have too many good repair cards. They have cards which let you just one-off ignore damage, and a couple that let you repair your shields when your hull takes damage, but then once all your hull is gone, that card's useless. This, in conjunction with it's like Graviton Field, something or other. If you use this with that card, you should be able to get the Okay, you know what? I'm actually going to get my card so I can tell you the exact card you need to pair this with. Okay, alright. So you would like to, I would say, pair this with Reinforced Shields. Reinforced Shields is a 1-point tech. This is a 4-point tech. The Temet has 2 tech slots. So, you want Reinforced Shields and Self-Repair Technology on the Temet. And then you're going to be able to repair your shields and your hull. Cool. Alright, moving on. Let's just put this card to the side so I know it's not with the pack. Here is your maneuver reference. It's the regular one that you get with most Daenerys ships. Same image, just a reprint. You got your white 2 turns and your forward 4. So it's pretty good at turning. Downside, no rear arc. It's a 90 arc. Doesn't come with a gun about. So although these look maneuverable with the 2 white turns, you have to fly it a specific way in order for it to, really work for you. Because unlike a Miranda class, which has the same deal, a Miranda class you have much better arcs, so you have much better fire coverage. So keep that in mind when you're flying a Daenerys. Okay, next we have Fee! During the activation phase after you move, if you have the Cloak action on your action bar, you may discard this card to perform a Cloak action as a free action. He is 1 point, I say he's good. Speaking of good, this needs a number, doesn't it? I would say this is a 4. It's a good card that I would play. Fee? I really like this as just a 1-point Romulan crew. I'd say he's also a good card that I'd play. If you got 1 point on a Romulan ship, you can throw Theon. Okay, so next up we have the generic. Now, there are many different types of generic Didarodexes. They're not all the same. They have a variety of upgrade bars. This one is Tech Weapon Crew. It's 3, 2, 6, and this one's 3 shields because it is a generic. Comes in at 28 points. Now, this has been discounted thanks to the old Romulan faction pack. Let me just go check the discounted price. It's been discounted to 25 points. So if you have 100 SP in your fleet, you can run 4 of these guys. So the generic Didarodex has some problems. I mentioned them a bit before. The turning, it's not the greatest fire coverage because it's a 90 arc. And honestly, the turning's kind of great. I actually really do love the turning on Didarodexes. It's just the reverse gets ya. Because it doesn't have that come about, so it's not the greatest at fighting sometimes. Next we have Intercept, and hey, look at that! It's the Prometheus. Intercept. This is a 5-point talent. Place your bets. Is it going to be a discard? Probably. During the activation phase, if an opposing ship ends its move in your forward firing arc before that ship performs its action, you may discard this card to immediately perform an attack with 3 dice against that ship. The defending ship may roll defense dice against this attack, but the attack cannot be modified in any way. This might be useful in one of my do a bunch of attack builds. So pair this with the Preemptive Strike Federation upgrade, which I think is actually going to appear today in this video. It might appear in this video. But, because with Preemptive Strike as an action, you get to perform an attack. So you could use this card when the opposing ship moves into your forward firing arc. You shoot it, and then on your turn, you shoot it again, and then in the combat phase, you shoot it again. So you just hammer it with all sorts of attacks. Now it says specifically 3 attack dice. So you can tell it's made for a Didarodex because it matches the Didarodex attack, but it's also not listed as a primary weapon attack. That way you can't use all your bonuses to try and get, 5 attack dice. Is this a good card? Normally for a 5-point discard, it's hard to be, really good. Some people like them, some people don't. I say I like this because I love these little discard to get an extra attack in. It's kind of fun. Because although it might not always sound that great, if you worded it as your enemy just skips their combat phase, that would be really great. And this is kind of the same. It's similar at least. So I'm going to say, it's hard. I want to say it's a great card that I would play. And you know what? This is my show, so it's a great card that I would play. It's a 6. Next up, we have Tebok. During the Gather Forces setup, or step. Oh, that's cool. Not too many cards deal with Gather Forces step. Gather Forces step is before setup, so that's when you're still building your fleet. During the Gather Forces step, if there is at least one other Romulan ship in your starting fleet, Tebok may field any Romulan upgrade at a cost of -1 SP. Well, hey, he doesn't have an elite slot, but this pack comes with one. Now, this is actually something you'll notice in most prize packs that are like this. Like the ones that don't come with a ship. There's usually a card for every slot on the ship bar. So if it comes with a elite talent, it's going to come with a captain who can field it. I like that. So that means you can run Intercept for 4 points with him. Now, he's only 3 SP. But what's cool, though, is if you try to combine this with Preemptive Strike, you'll probably be moving before your enemy. So you move, hit them with Preemptive Strike. If it doesn't kill them, let them move, then hit them with this. Or alternatively, if you have Preemptive Strike and this card with you, if you can't get them in range with your action, well, with your turn, to use Preemptive Strike, then when they do move, you'll be able to use Intercept. Next we have a generic. I love generic captains. I like being able to put a captain on the table. That's important to me. And then finally we have Charging Weapons. When it's... Oh, this is another card I like. I actually recommended this to, I think it was James from the Attack Wing group in Manchester. I often recommended this to him when he was doing a Daenerys build for Alliance, because it's a 1-point weapon upgrade, and it's not that bad. When attacking with your primary weapon, you may disable this card to reroll one of your blank results. The reason it's not that bad is because it's 1 point. And again, Daenerys is kind of on the pricey side, and if you want to make your Daenerys good, you gotta throw a bunch of upgrades on it. So this looks pretty good, I think. Alright, so let's see. What would I give this? Oh wait, let's go back a step. I forgot to give this guy a number. I keep forgetting to give them numbers. Okay, alright, so here's the thing. He is using... Okay, alright. Let's look at it this way. Why is he good? Why would he be good? Let's go a little bit of, play your cards right here. He costs 2 points. 3 captain skill. 3 captain skill isn't really important. What it is let's say we have a Romulan ship. We've got very few points left, and we have a 5-point elite talent. We want to get on there. Well, for what if I could say there's a captain with no named ability. He costs 1 point, but he has an elite talent slot. That's great! But I don't have that. But I have him, who is perfect for that very specific scenario, because by discounting this, he may as well be 1 point. He pays for himself. Or he pays for half of himself, I guess. So there have been many times where I did look for a 1-point captain with an elite talent slot. So this would be the Romulan equivalent. Not great. But you know what? That is a role I have needed more than I thought I would. So I'm going to say, good. Good and outplay. He's a 4. Okay, down to charging weapons. Charging weapons. It's not a great card, but it's 1 point. Good card and outplay. I have played it. I've played it online. Alright, and that is the IRW Timet. What would I give this pack as a total? Well, let's see. We've got ourselves a great ships that I would play, a good card that I would play, a good card that I would play. I don't think I rated this. I'd say the generics are good and I'd play them. So there are 4. Intercept. I think I gave it a 7. Great card and I'd play. Him. Good card and I'd play. Generic. And a good card I'll play. Okay, so what would I rate this pack? I would say, I don't think I'm going to use a number for this one. I would say that this is a great pack. It's got some good, low-cost Daenerys themed upgrades. And they're good on other ships as well. Even though they aren't technically Daenerys themed. Well, no, they're themed around the Daenerys. They just aren't Daenerys upgrades. They're just, good for the Daenerys. Hey! Also, the slot loadout on the Temet. Really like it. So you know what? This is a good pack. If you can find it, I would say pick it up. But, you know, don't pay too much for it. And honestly, my guess is the Romulan faction pack, the new one they're making, Secrets of the Tal Shiar, is probably going to do some similar things, being there'll probably be a repair upgrade or, you know, a discard to fix something or cancel damage, and there'll probably be upgrades that make the Daenerys beefier. So it's not necessary to get this pack, but, you know, I really like it. So let's move on to pack number 2. On to our next ship. So some of you may have already guessed what ship this is based off of me mentioning the preemptive strike upgrade. This is a Saber class. This was the first Saber class introduced to the game. There was a later one, the Montgolfier, in a blister pack. You know, one of these. And slated for 2022, there's going to be a new faction pack with another Jaeger, hopefully with a price discount, because as you'll see, these things are a little pricey for what you get in terms of the points. So this is our first model of the video. Let's take a look at this. So this is the blue paint job. Now the reason they originally painted these with blue is because that's what color a lot of the actual studio models were. Because on camera, they appeared gray. And almost actually, when you look at it from actually straight up on this camera, it looks kind of gray. It looks more gray than blue. But this is actually sort of a light, like Rainbow Dash blue we're looking at here. Now, let's see. We've got impulse engines here. These are sort of Starfleet red security bands. Front, more red security bands. We've got a sort of gold phaser array, a brilliant yellow deflector. I actually am a big fan of this, like, French fry orange deflector here. We've got some dark blue Bassard collectors, and I think the Saber's warp engines are some of my favorite for their shape. Now, I'm often tempted to pose. I was initially posing the Saber like this, but the ship actually has an angled back. So the saucer is what's flat, and the back of the ship is higher than the front of the ship. It's got this wonderful sort of profile. Now, a lot of people will say the Defiant is the first warship in the Federation, but I believe, based in the lore, the way it worked was the Defiant and the Saber were being built at the same time. However, the Defiant got mothballed, the Saber got reassigned, and its sort of heavy-duty weaponry was disabled, but still left, I believe, in the ships. So these were in use. These actually saw use before the Defiant saw use. So I would say technically the Saber is the first Federation warship, not counting all the original series airships that were built to fight Klingons that weren't called warships. Okay, so let's check out. We've got the base. We've got 2 individual pegs. They are not fused together, so there's sometimes the possibility you might get 2 of the same heads. But this is something I actually like. So this base here has a chevron on it. It's not showing up on camera, but it's a chevron, so you don't need to worry about putting in the peg backwards, thinking your ship's not right, and accidentally breaking it. So let's get... Oh, let's just put you back over here. Oh, wait, what am I doing? I can put you on the stand. Let's put him on the stand, that's always fun. Got our little baggies. I actually like to save these. I've never actually found a use for them yet, so I just have a lot of those tiny, tiny bags. Bit of friction on this. Let's see, is it angled right, or is it angled incorrectly? So there's the chevron here, so I know it points that way. Just laying it flat. It's actually angled with the back being flat as opposed to the back raised. as I think it is supposed to be, right? So it should be like this, but it's angled like that. That still looks pretty cool. It's straight. It's pretty straight. It's just a little tilted, but I'd say this is one of the most straight models I've seen. I also don't mind its blue paint job. Okay, so let's see. Let's get to the cardboard. We've got a 90-degree forward arc, no rear. So this is a ship that it's going to have to rely on either dorsal-based weaponries, 360 fire weapons, or its own maneuverability. So we'll see how maneuverable it is in a moment. So it says here it's a 3233 for the USS Jaeger. And we've got 2 shields. It comes with a Skill 7 Captain, an Evade token, a Scan token, a Battle Stations, a Critical token, and a Disabled token, as well as an Auxiliary token, a second Disabled token, and a third shield. So it looks like you have all the shields you need for this one. Oh, speaking of shields, some are actually popping out already. Get back in there. I can take care of you later. That's what that box is for. Actually, let's just do that now. That's my attack wing junk box. It's it's an ammo crate. Okay, alright, and remember how I mentioned, actually I don't think I did. Or if I did, it was in a previous version of the video I had to cut. The Saber was designed as part of an anti-Borg fleet. Now the Montgolfier came with an anti-Borg weapon. And here, we've got ourselves an anti-Borg card. And this is one of my favorite anti-Borg cards. This is Elizabeth Shelby. She was, I believe, aboard the Enterprise during the Battle of Wolf 359. And I'm just going to say right now, she's a 7. So this 7 on my attacking scale. Not like on a rating a person scale. During the modify defense dice step of the combat phase, you may re-roll one of your blank results. Hey, that's nice. If you are defending against an attack from a Borg ship, you may roll +1 defense dice during the roll defense dice, and you may re-roll all your blank results. So you put this on a ship, along with Hood Riker, even if you're not fighting Borg, your ship is now very defensible. Like, when you combine her with Hood Riker, your ship may as well be cloaked. Okay, so that's a 7. Alright. Reginald Barclay. This is, at this point in time, the only way to get Barclay for the games. So if he's one of your favorite characters, hey, this is where you can go. He is a 4-point upgrade. Action, disable this card and roll 3 defense dice. For each evade result, repair 1 damage on your hull. If you repair 2 or more damage with this action in a single round, place an auxiliary power token beside your ship. If you repair 3 damage with this action in a single round, discard this card. So this is an action disable, or an action disable Aux, or an action discard Aux. But it's a random card. And it's, no matter what the result, is good. You're going to either repair 1, or you're going to repair 2 or 3. And I love sort of randomized cards in this game. I have a phrase which is, live by the die, kill by the die. Or sometimes live by the die by the die, as it usually ends up being. But I like Barclay. I'm going to say he's not a great card because of that randomized feature. You can't rely on him, and when you might need him most, he might just die. So I'm going to put him at an okay card I would play. So we'll put great cards here. Oh wait, no, sorry. 7 is amazing cards. She's a 7 amazing. 5 to 6 are great cards. 3 to 4 are good cards. So good cards here. Got a generic captain. Again, I like my generic captains. Now we've got Benjamin Maxwell. He's 4 points, has an elite talent slot, or skill 7. That sounds pretty good. There's like some pretty great skill 6 captains that are 4 points. He's skill 7. Now, immediately before you move, you may change your maneuver. If you do, discard this card during the end phase. So you don't have to discard him right away. Downside is, I don't like discard captains. However, he's got a good skill, he's got an elite talent slot, and his named ability is useful. And normally if you have like a throwaway captain, like a captain where you have to discard him in order to do some sort of ability, normally the ability is not too great, or alternatively, they have a low captain skill. At least that's what I think they usually have. Him, though, 7. So you can just put him on your ship and never use his ability, and you've got a skill 7 captain with an elite talent slot. Hey, that's pretty cool. Or alternatively, you can use his ability and lose your captain. But then from then on, you're moving first, because you're now moving at captain skill. I was under the assumption captain skill 0. But apparently, if you discard your captain, you just put a generic card on your ship. So then you're at captain skill 1. You're still now moving first. So you were shooting before some people. Now you're shooting after some people. But you're moving first, which I think is pretty good. Alright, so let's see. What would I rate him? I'd say he's a good card. An underused card. I don't know if I've ever used him. So I would say he's a good card. Don't know if I'd play him. So that makes him a 5. Okay, on to the Jaeger. It's a 3-2, 3-3. 22 points. 2 weapons, 2 crew. I would really like to see a tech on this ship. Because, like, part of the lore is they're supposed to be favored by the engineering corps. But they're not engineering ships. They're warships, so it makes sense that they don't have tech. But I'd like them to have tech. Anyway, well, let's see. When attacking with your photon torpedoes, you do not need to disable the photon torpedoes. Well, thanks to the photon torpedoes from the Alliance, and also that expansion there, and the 2017 starter set, this named ability is quite a bit more better than it used to be. Because the fancy torpedoes cost 3 actions if you want to keep using them. This makes it so they only cost 2. And if you're using even older torpedoes, that just give you, that you don't need to use your battle stations with, because they're the quality torpedoes, this again makes them better. This also actually pairs well with the, well, it's thematically in line with the other Saber class ship, because the other Saber class ship has ability to move your target lock onto another ship for free. So that's pretty good. So what would I rate the Jaeger? I'm going to be honest. This named ability, although it's cool, it's a little harder to build like a truly great build around this than it looks. It just makes your torpedoes a little bit better. It's not quite the Enterprise E, which makes your torpedoes great. This could be very useful, though. I don't think I've tried a build using the Jaeger and torpedoes. I think I might actually try that, because one of the reasons I'm opening these is because I want to play a DS9 themed game, and I want to use some of these ships, and I was like, oh, I gotta make that video first. So yeah, you know what? I might use the Jaeger with some torpedoes. For now, I'll say it's a good ship, and I'll play it. Oh, wait, let's back up a bit. Beep, 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 beep. We need to look at the movement dials, don't we? What do we got for movement? Let's skip forward to the movement. No reverse, but no red except for a come about. That's good. So yeah, I'm gonna say, ooh, the Jaeger. Are you a good ship or an okay ship? I'm gonna say it's definitely not a great ship. But I like it. It's, you know what, I think it's my bias for liking Saber classes, but I'm going to say it's a good ship. So that's in the good pile. Maneuvers, they're in the good pile. Alright, what's next? We've got the generic at 20 points. Now, this is going to need a discount. And I predict it's going to be discounted to 14 points. So it's a 3-2-3-2. So that's one less than the Defiant generic. Doesn't have a tech slot like the generic Defiant. But it is weapon, crew. And again, it's a warship. It's supposed to be shooty-shoot. So it's good that it has the 2 weapons. Doesn't have enough crew slots for both crew. But I think the Jaeger does. Yeah, the Jaeger has enough so you can put Shelby and Barkley on. This, I'm going to say that the generic is a okay ship. However, once it gets its discount, it's going to move from 4, which is a good ship that I play, to, for okay ship that I play, to great ship that I play. Yay! No, good ship that I play, to great ship. So let's put you there for now. Good. Okay, moving on. We've got... Oh no. For those of you who watch my Play Your Cards Right series, you'll be familiar with this. This is a 4-point photon torpedoes. Target lock, spend your target lock, and disable this card to perform this attack. You may fire this weapon from your forward or rear firing arcs. Doesn't have a rear firing arc. Range 2 to 3, 5 points, no quality boost. Now, if you want to know my thoughts on this, you can watch my video, but SparkNote's version of it, these are considered some of the worst torpedoes, but they are useful in the sense that it's boosts 3 attack dice ship up to 5. So I'm just going to put it in the okay category. Finally, we come to Preemptive Strike. Dun dun dun. I was talking about this with the Temet. Action, discard this card and target a ship at range 2 to 3 in your forward firing arc and roll 3 attack dice. Any hits or crits damage the ship as normal. The target ship rolls defense dice against the attack. 2 points. 2 points! This is a 7. This pack has 1 okay, 2 good. Let's not count that. 2 great. And 2 amazing. I think I mixed these up a bit. Either way. I'm pretty sure I got these piles mixed up. But yeah, you know what? Get the Jaeger if you want to. That's the catch, if you want to. It's got some great cards. It's got Preemptive Strike. It's got Elizabeth Shelby. It's great. That makes it cool. It's definitely, if you want to fight Borg, you'll want Elizabeth Shelby. That being said, actually, I think it's dirt cheap. You might not always know if you're getting it if you're buying the blind booster, but let's see. This is a collective blind booster. You can find these. Sometimes they cost ridiculous amounts of money. Sometimes they're dirt cheap. But you can probably find this on eBay at this point in time, which is April 2022, for not that much money, especially if you buy one used. At least I think. I haven't checked eBay in a while. So yeah, this gets my approval for being the board-killing ship that it should be. So we'll put you over there. Yeah. I'm back, and I have the 5th Wing Patrol Ship. Let's take a quick read at the back. Now, these were the bread and butter of Attack Wing. Those things were optional extras you could get. Faction packs, so they're becoming the new bread and butter. They don't be making these anymore. This is what carried the game for so long. Look at that. The OG paint job. Light purple. Not silver, not deep blue. I mean, not deep purple. Okay, 5th Wing Patrol Ship was an agile Jem'Hadar attack ship that utilized advanced weapons and tactics during the Dominion War. The Jem'Hadar ships were known for their powerful upgrades, such as phased polar iron beams that could fire past an opponent's shields, as well as advanced tactics that included devastating suicide attacks against larger ships. Now, these bios kind of give you hints at what's inside the card. So, if you don't know what's in here, what would you think is in this? Well, let's find out. Now, there's many ways to open blister packs. I like to do sort of a cut on the back, but not the front, because it gets very sharp and pointy and hurts. Cut on here. Oh, it's important to note, this is recyclable 3. So this is a level 3 recyclable plastic, which means it can actually be recycled in most recycling plants. Because I live in a rural area, and our recycling here is kind of terrible. There's a lot of stuff that you would normally be able to recycle that you just can't. So that's a shame. Also, nothing's quite as annoying as when you put your recycling out in a super cold, wintry day, and then you go out there later in the day to find out that, oh no, they just didn't pick it up because they looked at the plastic and thought it was not recyclable, so they just refused to take any of your stuff. Because they can't sort your recycling here either. Okay, so the way this works is there's an inventory of all the stuff you're going to get. Then there's a big plastic bag with your cards and your stuff. Notice it's a lot bigger than what those ones were. Then it tells you about the other ships available in the wave. So it says, hey, there's the starter set. USS Defiant, Kronos 1, Praetus, and then this ship. So it gives you an idea of what the ships were that were also coming out in the same wave. So you can, retroactively, you can look at these and help understand why certain cards were made. Because certain cards are out of date, some are not as good as others. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about the blind boosters. So blind boosters follow that same rule of at least one upgrade for every slot. But the other thing is blind boosters were made so you could create a ship of, I believe, 30 points. Because you got them before you went to a match. Essentially, they said, bring a fleet that's a certain size, and keep in mind that around 30 points of your fleet will be a blind booster. You don't know what you're getting. So then you have to take these cards and build a ship that's worth 30 points using those cards. And I would do that right now, but I've already opened this, so I should probably finish this part before I jump on to other stuff. Plus, I'll try to do builds at the end of the video. So let's see what we got. Let's open up the plastic here. This one also has the chevron. I like the chevron. All my new ones, I stick in a box. I'm not one of these people who keeps them on the pegs. I keep them in special little storage cubbies. AKA, that's my fancy way of saying I shove them all in the tackle box. Yeah. Let's see what we got. So, it's a light purple. It's light purple with some... There's surprisingly a lot of colors used on this. There's 2 shades of yellow. I think 4 shades of purple? 3 or 4 shades of purple. Then that light blue. And then more light blue underneath. And blue on the engines. I wasn't holding that up to the camera. I'm sorry, I was trying to see them. See, the light here is actually on the camera, so I can't see it as well. So let's put this guy on its pedestal. Is it straight? Yes. Is it straight from the side? No, it's tilted down a bit. But it's consistent. It's not crooked. Alright. Let's check out the plastic. Not the plastic. Oh, this is one of the double taped ones. I like it when they just slide it in with the bag without putting all this tape on it. Okie dokie. I'm actually going to move the camera, because this is actually straining my back a bit. There we go. Oh, that's so much better. Let's just move these guys into view. Alright. So you get 3 of these big cardboard pieces here. Oh, I can see a reminder token already. It says +1 attack, -1 defense. Hey, that was similar to the Timet's named ability did that. A -2 defense and a 1 forward. Oh, that's for suicide attack. By the way, I really like that card. May as well recycle that. Where did the other one go? Oh, here it is. It's under the camera. Okay. So, target lock O, we get a Vorta, skill 3, a generic, 3 shields, a battle station's auxiliary power disable, another Vorta, so that's 2 captains. Our dial, critical, scan, evade. We've got a 90-degree firing arc, no rear. But, as anyone who has played Alliance knows, these ships are real maneuverable. Let's put that to the side. Now, one of my favorite cards of the game is in this pack. And I have not been able to unleash the ultimate death combo on my local group because it's been sealed away. But now, the chains are off. Let's start with this. Photon torpedoes. Okay. Okay, so this is an interesting one. So it's similar to the Jaeger in that there's no quality boost. It's just 5 dice attack, target lock, disable. But, unlike almost every other photon torpedoes in the game, minus maybe the Ferengi ones, you can use this at range 1 to 3. Now, target lock disable for 2 bonus attack. Well, let's imagine we're using the 2017 starter set, and we've got the Federation 4-point, tactical station. Disable for 1 attack dice, discard for 2. This is a action target lock, and then you disable it. You essentially get your +2. But you don't have to discard it. I'm going to say it's okay. It's alright. I did a video on why non-quality torpedoes aren't bad. They're just not all that great. Okay, alright, we got a crew here. Oh, that doesn't look easy to pronounce. Ometicalan. Okay, omelette without an L. Omet. Eclan. Omelette Eclan. Omet Eclan. Okay. Whenever you attack with your primary weapon result, you may convert one of your results into a hit. Hey, it's kind of like Balana. The 1-point Balana, you know? And I was about to say this is a real cool card. I mean, it's Jem'Hadar only, but let's assume you're playing Faction Pure, or you're only using this ship or something. Hey, that's cool. He's 5 points for that. Oh. See, nowadays... Okay, to be fair, Balana only works if you're fighting Dominion. Which means she's absolutely broken in custom Alliance games. Paul. 5 points for guaranteed hit. There are quite a few cards you can buy that give you a guaranteed hit or crit. Oh, you know what would be perfect? I know what you need to do. I need to pause the video. I've got an instant build for you. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? So I just threw this build together right now. Step 1. you need the Robinson. It is a Federation faction Jem'Hadar ship. There's a cool episode about it where they fly a stolen ship on a mission. It's 3/2, 3/3, 4 crew slots, 22 points. Its named ability is really fun. It's definitely a live by the die by the die build, because you can just negate damage in order to gain a warp core breach. Alright. So, Captain Benjamin Sisko. He has this cool remove an auxiliary power token ability. We don't need to worry about that. His named ability, if you're attacking a Jem'Hadar ship, if you're attacking a Dominion ship, or a ship that has a Dominion captain to it, add 1 crit. So you're rolling 3 dice plus a crit. Then we throw in our friend Omelette Eclan, or Omet Eclan, for 5 points. So now we're looking at 32 points. But he converts one of your results into a hit. So that is a crit and a hit, guaranteed, and you're rolling 3 dice. But one of those dice is always going to be a hit. Then you throw in B'Elanna Paris for 1 point. So this is a 33-point ship. 3 cards, 1 ship. When attacking, this ship may reroll 1 blank. If the Dominion ship is if the defending ship is Dominion, this ship may also convert 1 blank into a hit. You know what this means? You roll 3 dice, add a critical, convert 1 to a hit, convert another to a hit, you have 1 remaining dice, reroll that. So, if you are playing against Dominion, for 33 points, you can have a ship that almost always hits. And that's no actions, nothing. You still get all your actions, you still have 2 extra crew slots and an elite talent slot. That is cool, I like that. Alright, so, I was going to say he was a bad card, but because he fits into this anti-Dominion combo, not because he's anti-Dominion, but because he works on the Federation ship. Ooh. Oh wait, he costs 1 more point because of, sorry, these cost 2 more points because of faction penalties. So this is not 33 points, it's 35 points. 35 points for this ship. Okay, so he went from, I was going to say bad, I am moving him into, I'm going to move him into okay. And I'd play him because I would use him with this. In fact, I might rework one of my builds to include him in it. Alright, I gotta put these cards away now. This was actually, you know how I mentioned B'Elanna's broken in custom Dominion games? This pile of cards here is the deck of cards I use for a custom Dominion game. And one of my players flies Voyager. Sorry, a custom Alliance game. And one of my players flies Voyager, and I gave them B'Elanna. That B'Elanna. I gave myself Sisko for the next mission. Okay, alright. So, Photon Torpedoes. Okay, him. I think I said he was good. And I'd play him. So, bad, okay, good, great, amazing. Alright. 2. Phase Polaron Beam. 5 points, 3 attack. Disable this card. You don't need a target lock, so you can use that target lock. It's a 1/2. All damage inflicted by this attack ignores the opposing ship's shields. This upgrade costs 5 points for any non-Dominion, non-Jem'Hadar ship. Yeah, so any non-Jem'Hadar ship. So this does work on the Robinson. It's not faction locked. It's class locked. I've never used this. I plan on using it in that game I was mentioning. I think it'll be fun because I've faced a similar ability. One of the elites that you can face in Alliance is a Dominion ship that can shoot through shields, and I think it's supposed to be mimicking the phase Polaron Beam. It's good. I mean, it's awful to face. So, considering how bad it is to face, and you can use it as an action every turn, you know, just re-enable it, I would say that this is I want to say great card, so I'm going to say great card. I haven't used it, though, so great card I would play, good card I would play, okay card, probably not going to play. What do we have here? Oh, this doesn't have a symbol on it. It just has minion. So I think that this is a captain. No, this is the ship. Okay, so this is a generic Jem'Hadar attack ship. Now, these have been discounted now. These are cheaper. I don't know how cheap they are off the top of my head. I think they're 13 points. Yeah, they're probably 13 points. 3232. Oh, hey, wait a minute. No rear arc, 3232. Is this a saber? (3232) Weapon crew. Tech weapon crew. Oh, hey! Alright, so whatever price this is supposed to be now, the saber will probably be discounted to that. Keep in mind, this is the saber's moves. It does not have green turn 2s. I think Jem'Hadar attack ships do. We'll find out in a moment. Actually, I'm going to look up quickly to see how much this actually costs us to run in the game. The generic is 16 points? Oh, no, that's the 6th wind patrol ship. The generic is 13 points. Okay, alright, so this is the Dominion's answer to the Burrell. It's a 13-point ship. Generic. So if you're playing this at home and you read a generic, like it just says Jem'Hadar attack ship 20, treat this like it's 13. It's been updated. So this is supposed to be the Burrell equivalent. Fortunately, nothing can beat the Burrell. Alright. So 3232. I mean, I've faced wave after wave of these in Alliance. They're alright. However, it isn't too hard for ships to gang up and one-shot them. And if you're playing with some bigger ships, like you don't have like a small limit, like ships can't be more than 30 points. Yeah, if you don't have like a limit on your card pool, Jem'Hadar attack ships can be one-shotted fairly easily. In fact, some of the ships in that pack behind me can probably one-shot this in one shot. Even the named one, it can probably one-shot. So now that we know these ships can be taken down in one shot, in at least the modern game, let's keep an eye out for any upgrades that might be able to save us from that. Okay, we've got another Dominion card here. Nope, that's the ship. Alright, what am I going to rank this? I'm going to say okay ship, because I've only once, I think, flown a generic. So okay ship out of wouldn't, so okay goes here. Alright, okay, good. Okay ship probably wouldn't fly. Unless I was flying Jem'Hadar. Maybe I'll do that one day. But I don't know. It might be a very long time. Okay, you know what? In those giant fleet battle video thing I was working on... Okay, fine, it's an okay ship that I would play. Here we go. Suicide attack. 5 points. Action. At the end of the activation phase, you must make a forward maneuver and place an auxiliary power token beside your ship. If your ship overlaps the enemy ship, destroy your ship and roll 8 attack dice. Wow, that's a lot. To damage the enemy ship. That ship rolls defense dice against this attack. This upgrade may only be purchased for a Jem'Hadar ship. Keep in mind, you can use this on like the Jem'Hadar battleship if you want, because it's a Jem'Hadar ship. I like these sort of ramming attack, self-destruct things. I just really like them because people don't expect you to blow up your own ship. And it's a fun gimmick and makes for a cool story. So, good card outplay. Actually, 8 attack dice. It's a good card. I don't think that suicide attacks are that great. I just personally really love them. Okay, we've got another. What is this? It's a generic Vorcha. We'll just put that over there. What's this? Oh, it's a named 5th Wing Patrol Ship. Action. When attacking this round, gain +1 attack dice. When defending this round, roll 1 less attack dice. So... It's the Temet without the cloak restriction. Now, I said this was a good power on the Temet. But I said it was good power on the Temet because the Daradex class ships need more attack dice. And there are there's 2 upgrades which boost your attack dice on the Temet. And this actually only works at range 1. So in that respect, the Temet's ability is, I would play the Temet's ability just to try and overwhelm my enemy with high attack dice. 7 attack dice at range 1. That's nice. Jem'Hadar ships have access to Dominion weapons. And there are a lot of good Dominion weapons. Not too many good Romulan weapons. Lots of good Dominion weapons. This, not necessarily one of them. But you got Suicide Attack. You've got all those brilliant cards from the Dreadnought pack. The Dreadnought card pack has like a 2-point quantum torpedoes. That's great. I'm going to say that this isn't actually that great of an ability. Take a Battle Stations instead, because you have a 1 in 4 chance of rolling a Battle Stations on your die. So you're probably going to roll some blanks. May as well use your Battle Stations to convert the blanks. Or boost your, you'll use the Battle Stations to get evades. You know, worth taking. So, named ability, not that great. I would say it's an okay ship. Would I play it? Probably. I'd probably play it over the generic, just because I would want to play a named one. Okay, tech upgrade. Long-range tachyon scan. When attacking a ship at range 3, you may spend 1 scan token to force that ship to roll 2 less attack dice this round. 2 less defense dice this round. I'd say this is actually pretty good for shooting other Jem'Hadar ships. Or, alternatively, shooting a saber. Because when an enemy ship rolls 2 defense dice, and then you attack it at range 3, now you're having to roll against 3 defense dice, and then it's like, oh, it's kind of like as if they were cloaked. That's a problem. And this only costs 2. So I'm going to say this is an okay upgrade. Would I play it? I don't think I own that much good Dominion tech. So I actually might. I might. But I might also never play it. And I have no plans to play it. So I'm going to put it as a 3. It's an alright card. So that's okay. That's good. Yeah, it's a 3. It's a good card. Wait, no, what am I talking about? It's an alright card. It's an okay card. I don't think it's that amazing. But it's okay. Here we are. Weyoun. Specifically, Weyoun 6. 4 points. Now, keep in mind, this is an older ship. That's a newer pack. Sometimes when you have old ships and new packs and you combine them, you accidentally get really great combos. I've seen people ask, especially new players, is it worth buying the old ships? Or should I just buy new ones? Sometimes old players say, hey, should I buy all the new ones and get rid of my old collection? The answer is no. Keep your old collection, because Weyoun 6 is an older card, but he pairs with Julian Bashir and Leonard McCoy to do something amazing. So let's see what his ability is. Disable Weyoun to prevent one of your crew upgrades from being disabled or discarded this round. So, let's use Calvin Timeline Leonard McCoy. When the captain equipped to this ship would be disabled, place 3 time tokens on this card. Oh, okay. So, that's the end of that round, right? So, you use some broken card, you get an extra attack, maybe you get your secondary weapon back with Kern, maybe you discard your card to prevent your ship from being attacked, or maybe you discard Reginald Barkley, right? You discard Reginald Barkley and you've repaired 3 damage to your hull. Actually, yeah, let's say you're flying to Tibet. You take 5 damage in attack, you discard Reginald Barkley, you get 3 hull repaired. You want to repair this additional 2 hull. So you disable Weiyun. But then you don't disable Weiyun. You place 3 time tokens on him. The next phase goes around, and it's activation phase. Julian Bashir removes 2 time tokens from him. Essentially, when you use Weiyun, Leonard McCoy, and Julian Bashir, you gain the ability to just not discard a crew member. Once a turn, you can not discard a crew or not disable a crew. And that is amazing. This is a combo, though, you have to think about it, because you have to think about what upgrades you want to use with it. So Weiyun, I say he's a 7. Okay, looks like we've got some missions. Let's put that to the side. We've got some more crew. Now, the thing about that cool Weiyun combo, though, is you need a lot of crew. So Tmet, I think, has 1 crew slot. How many crew slots? It has 1 crew slot, so probably not a great combo for the Tmet. This 1 crew slot. The Saber has 2 crew slots. But the Robinson I showed you from earlier, the Jem'Hadar ship there, the Federation Jem'Hadar ship, that had 4 crew slots. So maybe it would be good on the Robinson. We've got another Vorta here, not Vorta, Jem'Hadar. Action, target a ship at range 1. Disable this card and 1 crew upgrade of your choice on the target ship, even if that ship is cloaked or has active shields. Oh, that's a nice caveat. He's probably going to cost, I'm going to guess, 5 points, maybe 4. I wouldn't be surprised though if it was 6, because it's cutting through shields. You may then use that upgrade's action. Oh, he's just disabling an upgrade. Okay, he's not discarding. You may then use that upgrade's action, if any, as a free action this round. This upgrade may only be purchased for a Jem'Hadar ship. 5 points. Okay. You know what's funny? Imagine your Jem'Hadar ship with its 3 hull is damaged, and you use him to trigger Reginald Barkley on the Saber. You then use Reginald Barkley's action to repair your ship, and if you repair 3 damage, they have to discard Reginald Barkley. So, yeah, I would say he's probably a he's an okay card. Maybe he's not a good card just because he costs 5 points. Oh, do you have to discard this guy? No, you don't even have to disable him. You can do this every turn. Oh, this is fun to disrupt Federation fleets with all their crew. You just fly around your little ship around their ships and start disabling their crew every turn. Oh, you could kill combos. Much like this. You could disable these guys on the enemy ship to stop them. Yeah, okay, he's a good card. I don't know if I would play him. But he's a good card. Because there's Miranda Gilmore, I think it is, from the Equinox. She has a similar ability just for tech. I don't play her. Okay, what do we have here? We have a Lurin. One of your Dominion upgrades costs -2 squadron points. She costs 2 points. So she pays for herself. Okay. It just means you boost the captain skill by 2 on a generic ship, essentially. Toman Thorax. Action. Target a ship at range 1. Discard this card and 1 crew upgrade of your choice on the target ship. Even if that ship has cloaked and has shield, this upgrade can only be purchased for a Jem'Hadar ship. 5 points. Alright, so you know what? He's good, this guy's. See, this is a discard this card and that one. You don't get the bonus. These cards are a dime a dozen in the game. He costs more than those cards, though, because he cuts through shields. Alright. Because he cut through shields, you're an okay. If you cost less, that would probably be in your favor, but alright. Our final card here is just the maneuver. Ah, here we go. So it has superior maneuvers to the Saber, because the Saber does not have 2 bank greens. Alright, what would I rate this pack? I honestly don't care for the Jem'Hadar. Although I do really like that one Jem'Hadar. I like Weiyun a lot. I like Suicide Attack. And what was the other card? Phase Polaron Beam. Do I recommend getting this? Well, I always recommend this combo. Okay, don't always. I sometimes recommend this combo. And you need either Weiyun or Sopek in order to pull it off. You can watch my, I think, Nivar review for commentary about Sopek. This guy's better than Sopek, though, because you don't have to gain an auxiliary power token in order to use the ability, and I don't think it's an action either. Okay, alright, so let's just keep these to the side. So, this is a good ship that I would play. That's what I would rate this one. Oh, I almost forgot the mission. Okay, so missions. So blister packs come with one mission. Faction packs come with 2 missions. Although the new Federation one says it comes with a 4-part head-to-head campaign, probably trying to nudge in on the Alliance's reputation. Although, to be fair, larger packs for the X-Wing game used to come with big missions, sort of mini campaigns or 2-part missions, stuff like that. Alright, so let's see what this mission is. I don't know if I've read this. First Battle of Chintoka. Or Chintoka. Oh, so this is definitely an old pack. See, they don't have numbers on them, so I'm going to try and figure out which one's first. This one looks like the first one. Okay. Okay, yeah, I think I got the order right. Let's read this. Number of players 2. Components 1 planet token and 4 objective tokens. The Federation Alliance fleet is launching an offensive into the Chintoka system, territory held by the Dominion. While most of the Jem'Hadar attack ships have been sent to fight the Romulans, only a few are left to defend Chintoka, though it would not be left as undefended as the Federation Alliance thought. The Cardassians have built orbital weapons platforms to defend their territories. Oh, if you own Alliance, you can probably use those objective tokens for the Alliance, for the orbital platforms. Alright, here we go. Oh, this is a big battle, guys. My camera doesn't have an autofocus. It's 150 squadron points on both sides. I don't think I'll be playing this mission tonight. 150 squadron points, including at least, so one enemy team says, actually it lists it as Federation Klingon Romulan player. They have 150 squadron points. They deploy in standard formation on the opposite side of the board. Then you have, as the Dominion player, 150 squadron points, including at least 1 Jem'Hadar attack ship, with a suicide attack upgrade, it specifies, and 4 orbital weapons platforms. See special rules card. Ships are set up in a standard 2-player game, except the Dominion player gets an additional starting area, which is 36 inches by 12 inches, which is just to say, instead of deploying within range 1 of the board edge, you get to deploy within range 1 to 2. In addition, place the planet token directly in the center of the playing area. Treat this as an obstacle and use standard rules for planets. See page 32 of the rules of play. That's probably the old rule book. Then we've got place each objective token at the center of each side of the planet token, north, south, east, west, so that the closest edge is exactly 4 inches from the planet's token ship base. Planet token's edge. I think that means that it's at the edge for range 1. Okay, special rules. Orbital Weapon Platform, OWP. The Dominion player controls the orbital weapons platform tokens. I'm just going to call them platforms. And treat them as a single Dominion ship with the following stats. Primary weapon 4, defense 0. It's supposed to be agility, but yeah. I call it defense, most people call it defense. It's defense. Defense 0, hull 2, shield 6. That's a lot of shields. No maneuvers. 360 firing arc, range 1 to 2. No captain, skill of 1. 75 squadron points. Total for all 4. Oh, so these take up. So although you get. What is it? Although you get 150 squadron points, 75 of those are your orbital weapons platforms. Okay, alright, so that leaves you with, I think, another 75 points to build. For every orbital weapons platform token that is destroyed, each of the remaining orbital weapons platforms loses 1 shield and rolls 1 less attack die. Sorry about that! My camera ran out of batteries. Alright, so I'm just going to reread this card again. This is the special rules. Orbital Weapons Platform. The Dominion player controls the Orbital Weapons Platform token. Treat it as a Dominion ship with the following stats. 4, 0, 2, 6. No maneuvers. 360 fire arc, range 1 to 2. No captain, it has a skill of 1. And all 4 of them cost 75, like the total cost of them all is 75 squadron points. Which means, remember how I said was 150 squadron points for the battle? The Dominion side actually only gets 75 to build their fleet, because the other 75 are these turrets. For every orbital weapons platform that is destroyed, the remaining orbital weapons platform loses 1 shield and rolls 1 less attack die for the rest of the game. So that sort of incentivizes the Federation to attack the orbital weapons platforms. Alright. Any ship that overlaps an Any ship that overlaps an orbital weapons token at the end of its movement must move backwards along its chosen maneuver until it's no longer overlapping the token. This ship cannot perform any actions during that round. A ship may pass through the token as it would with another ship. I mean, it said treat them as an enemy ship, so that is a given. The orbital weapons token is not considering an obstruction for firing purpose. Again, if you treat it as a Dominion ship, like we're told to, that's a given. During the end phase for every round, each active non-destroyed orbital weapons platform repairs 1 shield. Okay, so does that mean... Oh yeah, sorry. I thought this was talking about shields. Okay, that's good. Objectives. The Dominion player. Perform a successful suicide attack, i.e. inflict at least 1 damage on an enemy ship using the suicide attack upgrade. Alternatively, the Dominion player can win by destroying all the enemy ships. So the Dominion win if they perform a suicide attack. Or they win if they just kill everyone else. It's like, I've invited them all to watch me perform a suicide attack. Sir, you chickened out. You didn't perform the suicide attack. Kill everyone! Okay. Then the Federation player's only objective is to destroy the orbital weapons platforms. Oh, okay. Alright. I get it. Alright. I thought it was going to be Federation player has to kill everything. So the Federation player only needs to destroy the weapons platform. The Dominion player has to either successfully perform a suicide attack, or they can go for the harder objective of destroying everything. Okay, alright. I mean, it's a big mission. It's got more interesting rules than some big missions. Some big missions are literally just, it's a big mission, and your guys appear on the battle later. This one actually seems interesting. It's got some cool rules. It, in a sense, it's that, it's, I think, the final mission of Chapter 1 Alliance. Dominion War Campaign, Part 1. It's Dominion War Campaign, Part 1, Act 3 mission, basically. But you're playing as the Dominion. So that might be fun. Actually, you know how I mentioned I was running, these cards were for a Dominion War Campaign and playing locally. I'm the one hosting the game, I might, as a fun thing, because we've been mixing it up, it's not like, it was a big formal thing, I might swap out the last mission for this, essentially, but change the, rebalance it to match theirs. Each of their ships are, I think, 40 points? I think they're 40 points, each of their ships. So that would leave me... That would bring their total points. So to roll this mission back, essentially. So that if I was to replace it with that. So 40 points each. Oh, well, no, I would be playing against them. So that's 80 points. Oh, that would only leave me 5 points for a ship. Never mind. I don't know. Maybe I'll work something out. Modify this mission a bit. Okay. So, now, we are on to that guy. And here we have the To Boldly Go Federation Faction Pack with our nice new paint jobs. Now, before we get to the paint jobs, we still have to get to the cardboard. So we have this beautiful layout of sort of cross shape of Captain Skill tokens. Reset pile there. Now, you'll notice that since these are the newer reminder tokens, they just have the photo of the card on them as opposed to the description of what it does. I'm still not quite sold on this. It's better than the really old reminder tokens where they didn't even tell you what card they went with. Yeah, there's actually a bunch of those. Try pairing that with the right ship when it just says +1 attack die, and it's like, which +1 ability are we talking about? Anyway, I do like how they look, but they can be a bit confusing seeing as there are some cards in the game that use essentially the same image over and over and over again. Like there's a Romulan upgrade. One of the ones I showed you in the video, that photograph has been used before, which was one of the reasons why I was confused by that name. Alright, so we've got the Sao Paulo. It's a Defiant class ship. It's got a forward arc and a rear arc, and it's 3-2-3-4. So it's better than the Saber in that it's got an additional shield and a rear arc. Got the USS Spectre. It's an Akira, 4-2-5-3. Forward arc, no rear. So it's kind of like a no Nebula class in that regard. You've got these nice, easy to identify clear ship logos on the Galaxy class and Defiant. It's a bit dark on the Miranda class, but I think that's still recognizable. We've got the Tiananmen, which is a forward 180 and rear 90, which I think I may have mentioned that earlier when I was talking about the Daenerys, that Miranda class ships here have a pretty good coverage, yet an almost identical dial. Okay, on the other side we've got some shields. We've got the reminder tokens. Got Worf, finally a Federation Worf captain. We've got a Leighton, who's a 6. Yeah, okay. So let's get down to the actual models. So first up, let's talk about the Defiant here. So remember how I was talking about the ships are straight? This Defiant is not straight. From the side, it looks kind of okay. But it's like about 10 degrees, 20 degrees off. So, now, not all of them are like this, because I do own another one of these, and it's not quite as bad. But let's compare it to the older Defiant model. So this is either the Valiant or the Mirror Universe Defiant. I think this is the Valiant. So it's in that baby blue color. It's a little bit... it's around the same shade as the Saber. What's important to note is that there is a major tactile difference. There's detailing on the engines here. The new one, it's just flat, and there's no, they didn't even put a bit of paint there or a sticker. This one, there's actual like grill work and indentation and spots where the Bizarre collectors are. It's just a very detailed model. This one was, the reason this model is less detailed is it was originally a cloaked model, so it was supposed to be like, it was okay to be less detailed because it wouldn't be painted or anything. And the running story is that these molds got lost or destroyed. So all WizKids has left is these more basic molds, which I think are a little smaller. Maybe not. But it's not as good as a mold. And like the back looks, the paint is so thick here, it looks like it's a sticker. But the advantage to this model over this old one is that this one's silver. And some people, myself included, really like the silver models. I'm not that big of a... The one thing I like more than a silver model is a white model. But these blue models, I don't go for it that much. So I do tend to use the silver Defiance more. So the Defiance model gets bonus points for being civil, minus points for being crooked, and minus points for being detailed. But the crooked thing seems to be a thing with my kit. My other one, I don't think is crooked. Okay, next up we've got the Miranda. Now, we've had two previous versions of the Miranda. We've had the blue one. Then we had a reprint, which was in silver. And then we've got this. And some people, I think, thought that these were the same silver, but you can see even on my camera here. This one's sort of a whitish silver. This is a darker silver. This is not gunmetal, though. This is a silver. You can just see, like, it's like a silver coin. Whereas this is... I think the term going around was eggshell. It's sort of an eggshell silver. Detailing on the sides. Roughly the same. Paint job on this one actually was splotched. But I owned another one where the paint job wasn't splotched. But this one, paint job pretty good, pretty clear. Again... Oh, there is a significant difference, though. The front of the engines are blue on the reprint. On the faction pack, they've got a blue ring around the engines, and I don't like how that looks. But the most notable difference, aside from just silver, because I do get these mixed up, is these ones have yellow paint to represent the maneuvering thrusters. Also, the impulse crystal is a lot more visible on the new one. So I do like the new one, but I think I prefer the silver reprint even more. So in order to get this model, you would have to look for a Reliant blister pack, like this guy was. That is a reprint, so it's not this one, the blue one. Okay, next up we have the Akira. Now, every Akira we've gotten has been silver. And I don't own the Thunderchild, it's pretty expensive, hard to find one. But I do own Alliance. And there is almost no difference between the Alliance one and the Faction Pack one. However, the Alliance one has slightly sort of sun-faded or sun-bleached engines. Like, it's a slightly softer blue. Whereas it's a more vibrant blue on the new one. On the Faction Pack. Now moving on to the Galaxy. We've gotten many versions of the Galaxy, and this is a version that some people were pretty hyped for. So this was the first version of the Galaxy we got. It's the light blue with yellow windows, and a blue and red deflector dish. This guy is silver, yellow windows, blue and yellow deflector dish. It's a considerable improvement over the starter set Enterprise, the original starter set Enterprise. However, we also have the 2017 starter set Enterprise. Now, Supposedly, all of these yellow things on the ship are not windows. They are escape pods. To me, they look like windows. So in this version, this is I call it the salt and pepper version. Salt and pepper windows. They're black and white. Some of these are, I think it is, some of them are supposed to be escape pods, some of them are supposed to be windows. To me, they all just look like windows, and some of the rooms have their lights turned out. And to me, I really like that. I like the salt and pepper. So I prefer this model from the 2017 starter set over the yellow windowed one. But I know a lot of people love the yellow windowed one. Also, we've got sort of it seems a metallic deflector dish on the older one. On this, it's a matte deflector dish. So there's that difference there. So it looks like the painting is metallic on the engine on the old one, whereas this, it looks like the engine is matte. Yeah, I have to say I prefer the 2017 model. But there's one other model, of course. There is the Borg faction pack model, which is the salt and pepper windows with Borg detailing. Borg assimilation detailing. And a difference about this from the other two is that this is actually a blue silver, as you can see. See, that's gray silver, blue silver, and blue. I like the blue silver a lot more because it just kind of seems like a harmony between the two. Because for a long time the game couldn't decide whether they wanted to do blue or silver. Blue silver, I like that look. But again, if I had to choose between the three, I go with the 2017. Sorry, choose between the four. Okay, while we're still on models, let's quickly address... I didn't get to show you the old versions of these. Or I guess alternate versions of these. So where are they? Here is the blister pack that we opened, 5th Wing Patrol Ship. This is the Alliance Patrol Ship. A lot of detail. A little less color, because it's missing the L-shaped paint job here around these points. The underside looks amazing. I like the underside more on the old one. On the new one. This is the Alliance one. But I like the coloration on the top on the old one. My favorite by far, though, is the Robinson, which is a deep, deep blue. Sorry, it's a deep, deep purple. So this is the Alliance, that's the Robinson. Robinson and the blister pack. You see the dark blue one, that's the Federation one. Now, I had mentioned that the paint job on the new Saber class was better. So this is the Saber class from the Montgolfier blister pack. It's got a sort of metallic deflector. It's red like tactical paint. It's been replaced with gunmetal, a dark gunmetal. And then this is even on top of that, just a dark silver. I love this model so much. Frankly, I like both of these a lot. I like the base silver on this over the base blue, but I prefer the vibrant deflector over this orange silver deflector. So they're both wonderful. Okay, now I suppose we should actually talk about the cards. You know, the thing people buy it for. Okie dokie. Alright. Here we go. So, we're going to have our this will be bad or just, for the maneuver cards. Okay, good, great, amazing. First off, USS Sao Paulo. This is the ship that replaced the Defiant. It is a 3-2-3-4. It is a tech weapon crew for 20 points. Already cheaper than the Montgolfier. Not the Montgolfier. Cheaper than the Jaeger at 22. When attacking, if this ship spends a battle stations token, place a battle stations token beside this ship. This ship is actually really good. It's also the cheapest Defiant we have at the moment, so I'm going to put this in Great Ship Outplay. Yeah, it's a Defiant. It's got good maneuvers. Actually, let me just check quickly. I think the maneuver cards, where are they? Yeah, they're the same as the Saber. On to the generic. It's at 15 points. And that is 3233 Tech Weapon Crew. So, I was talking earlier about what I think the discount for the Jaeger will be. They might put it 14 points, one less than the Defiant, because it's got one less shield. However, its stat bar for the Saber is the same as the 13-point Jem'Hadar attack ships, so I still think that this will be 13 points. But I would not be surprised if they put it at 14, which kind of sucks because the Saber has needed a lot of help. Like, there has been essentially no reason to fly Sabers at all, except for using that for torpedoes. This, we're looking at our new swarm ship, essentially. However, the Defiant does need some fixes to make it better. This pack comes with some fixes to make it better. So because of those fixes, I'm saying the Defiant, that's a great ship. Well, actually, no, it's not a 7. I don't think it's quite a 7, not yet. It's almost there. So we'll let this be a good ship that I play. Next up, USS Spectre. Argue about the spelling all you want. Akira class, 4253, and that is a Tech Weapon crew for 24 points. All Federation weapon upgrades equipped to this ship cost -1 SP. When attacking with a photon torpedoes upgrade during the modify attack dice step, destroy one active shield on the defending ship. Yes! I love this. This is fun. I don't think I've ever played it. But I really wanna play it. But I don't think I have. I think I let some other people play it, though, and they play for my collection, so I think that counts. Spectre, I really like it. I think it's just come down to time. But, as for why I haven't played it myself. But maybe I'll change that. Maybe I'll play that Dominion mission. Okay, alright. So, where should I put this? Great ship outplay? Or amazing ship? Great ship, amazing. Great ship, amazing. I'm gonna say great ship that I would play. So that's a 6. The generic Akira. Now this is actually better than the generic that you get in your Alliance because it has an extra weapon slot, 21 points. So if you're playing Alliance, you might want to pick this up so you can fly a better generic. It's completely within the rules. Now, here's a question. Is the Akira a good ship or a great ship? It's 5, 2. Yeah, let's look at them both. 4253 or 4252. I don't like that low shield value. That's something you'd expect to see on a Klingon ship that can cloak. There's no tech on a generic, so you can't be buffing your shields. That being said, if you are playing Alliance, the Akira is one of the best ships you can pick because you can start with it, you don't need to put points into it. And it's amazing. However, you do have to put points into captain skill in order to try and get... Wow, my camera's dying so much you think there would be a ghost in the room. Okay, where was I? I said the Spectre was a great ship I would play. Akira, I was trying to decide whether it was a good ship or a great. I'd say a generic Akira is a good ship in Star Trek Attack Wing. But in Star Trek Alliance, I would say it's a great ship. So I'm putting it as a great ship for now. It's not the best, though. What's holding it back is that one tech slot, especially in Alliance. It hurts it so much in Alliance. Because in Star Trek Attack Wing, you just throw systems upgrade on this guy, you get a +1 to your shields, and then you can sacrifice your third weapon slot that you don't really need, in order to get yourself that tech slot systems upgrade. You can't use system upgrade in Vanilla Alliance, so unfortunately you have to put in a bunch of XP just to unlock a tech upgrade that you can use to upgrade your shields, because that's what it needs. So, it's not a 7 for Alliance. It's a 6 for Alliance. And it is a 3 for Attack Wing. Okay, now we come to one of my favorite ships in the pack, the Odyssey, because I love sort of capital ship, feel like flagship style ships. I love ships that have support roles, and the Federation has very few support ships. It's got the USS Intrepid. It's got the USS Intrepid and these two ships. The USS Odyssey. It's a Galaxy class. 4154. It's a Galaxy class. 26 points. It is a tech, weapon, 3 crew. I like that they're focusing on crew, but I greatly appreciate that they gave us the tech slot. Free action. Place a auxiliary power token beside this ship and target all friendly Federation ships with a hull value of 3 or less within range 1 to 2. Target ships roll +2 defense dice and may convert 1 blank into 1 battle stations next time they defend this round. So that is kind of great. It's sort of like Hood Riker, but a spaceship. Now, keep in mind, someone else pointed this out too, that the defender can convert enemy dice before the enemy does. So that means, although you're converting an enemy dice from a blank into a battle stations, they can then use their battle stations to convert it back into a hit. Alright, what would I rate this guy? I'm going with 7. I love the Odyssey. But, onto its generic. I don't play generic Galaxy-class ships unless it's thematic. Or I'm doing a Galaxy Wing sort of style thing, but it's a 4153. For a weapon triple crew. Well, if you need a generic ship with a crew combo, Galaxy's class can go. It can take a hit, it can deal damage, and it's got alright arcs. However, the Galaxy class is really not that maneuverable. So I'm going to put the Galaxy class as a good ship. And I would play it. Because I have played it. Pretty sure I've played generic Galaxy class ships. Okay, on to the USS Tiananmen. It's a Miranda class. 2233. I love Miranda classes. Even I'll play a Miranda class sometimes when I shouldn't. Activation phase. Target a friendly ship within range 1 to 2 that has an auxiliary power token beside it. And place 2 time tokens on an upgrade equipped to this ship. On a crew upgrade equipped to this ship. The target ship does not skip its perform action step this game round. I like it. It has synergy with this guy. You fly them side by side. It's great. It's a tech, weapon, crew 14. Now here's the thing. I like the Miranda class a lot. This one has a tech slot. It has a tech slot. It's a named Miranda class with a tech slot and a support ability. I've literally never used this support ability yet. I've flown this ship before, but I've never used this ability. But it's 14 points for Miranda with a tech slot. Yes, I fly it. I think it's amazing. It isn't actually a 7. I want to say it's 7. It's not. It's actually just an okay ship. Unfortunately. Well, it's this... Yeah. I'll put it as a good ship. I like to fly because it's a cheap Federation ship that's actually good. You know? There's not many 14-point... There's not many Federation ships this cheap. Period. Okay, on to the next one. Generic Miranda class. 12 points. This is the Federation Swarm ship. For 12 points, it's a point cheaper than the Burrell. It's not as good as a Burrell, but it's a Miranda class. You got your forward 180, you got your rear 90, you got your white 2 turns, you got no red turns. It's great. So, I love it. Great ship I would play. In fact, just like to show you how much I like the Miranda class, and I'm so happy that it got discounted to 12 points. For 12 points, you can run 8 Miranda... If, let's say you're playing a 100-point game, you can run 8 Miranda classes, because it'll be 96 points. Now, you might be asking yourself, like, who on earth would own 8 Miranda class ships? Like, that's just ridiculous. But you know what? There's someone out there who probably owns, like, 8 Miranda class ships. No idea who, but someone probably does. Some major collector or something. I don't know. Maybe they have a cool YouTube channel. Maybe you should check out the videos. Maybe you are. Yeah. Anyway. Anyway. So, yeah. Miranda classes. Buy them. Here we have Captain modify attack dice step. When a friendly Federation ship is in range, the defending... Range 1 to 2. If a friendly Federation ship is defending and the attacking ship is in this ship's forward firing arc, convert 1 hit into 1 evade. Again, this is the defender modifying the offensive dice. So it's not... It's interesting. We don't see too many of those abilities. I feel like they're opening up that avenue of the game for more abilities because, we've retreaded over old abilities so many times. So I think that's going to be... We're probably going to see a lot more of this modifying the attacker's defense dice. Especially because with the new photon torpedoes, which you'll see in here, we've reached a point in the game where enemies can get perfect quality every time. So when it comes to fighting those guys who don't have perfect quality combos, reducing as much quality as you can is going to be important. In my opinion, he's a... What? He's not aligned. I don't know if you can tell this, but this card's not aligned properly. I noticed this on one of my ships as well. Yeah, the Galaxy's not aligned. This guy's not aligned. The Miranda's not aligned. The Spectator is... And the Sao Paulo's is, but the Sorry, but the quality of this... Like, the cards are nice to hold, and I'm autistic, so you can trust me on that. But, yeah, no, the alignment on these are off. Yeah. Anyway, I would say that he's a good captain, and I'd play him. I would probably put him on the Odyssey, because it's a cool ability, goes together, it's nice. However, it would make more sense to actually put him on the Tiananmen, because the Tiananmen has the wider forward firing arc. Now keep in mind, you can't use him on a 360 arc ship, because a 360 arc ship does not have a forward firing arc, it has a primary firing arc, which is a little bit different. Now, here we go, Jadzia Dax. You do not pay a faction penalty when equipping a Klingon talent to this card. She is a 4-point card. Remember I mentioned, what was it, back here, I think it was? No, it was Maxwell. I was talking about Maxwell earlier. He was a 7-point captain for 4 points. I was alluding to Jadzia. So he's a 7-point for 4 points. Jadzia is a 6-point for 4 points. So that's where I was sort of bringing up how he is, has a better skill than Jadzia. Same cost. However, if given the choice to run Jadzia or Maxwell, I would choose Jadzia, because in the activation phase, the ship may perform a one bank or a one white bank specifically. Now, I love running Jadzia on the Sao Paulo because it makes it so maneuverable. However, she would be good on any ship. In fact, I haven't tried this yet, but she would probably do great on a Galaxy class because they are not great at turning. I use her almost as much as I can, so I would say she's a great card, and I would play her. Next up, we have Benjamin Sisko. I actually showed you him earlier, because I bought 2 of these kits. Benjamin Sisko, when attacking during... Yeah, I showed you him with when I was talking about the Robinson using Weiyun 5 from that kit. When attacking during the modify attack dice step, if the defending ship is a Dominion ship or has a Dominion captain, add 1 crit. That is great. Now, if you're playing in a tournament, you might not always be fighting Dominion. If you're just bringing a build to a friend's house, again, you might not always be fighting Dominion. That's the downside. But he has an additional ability. End phase, remove 1 auxiliary power token from beside the ship. He's 8 points, 5 SP. Elite talent slot. I've tried different combos to remove auxiliary power tokens. They often cost actions eventually, or disabling tech. So he is, I would say, a 7. A great card. Even just for the auxiliary power removing. Now, I don't jump at playing him, surprisingly, that often. If I have to use a Sisko, I'll probably use that Sisko, but there's certain cards that are so good I don't use them very often. Because to me it feels almost like cheating. Like Picard. 9. Now I do use him sometimes, but he's like... It's like, if I'm doing like a build challenge, I don't think, like, why would it... It's hard to describe. It kind of spoils it if you... It's like, oh man, I can spend like 2 hours coming up with the perfect way of removing auxiliary power token every turn, and then it's like, well, why don't you just use Benjamin Sisko and remove an auxiliary power token every turn? I'm like, well, because that spoils the fun. Besides, what if I want to use them on a different ship? Okay, that's out of the way. That rant. Okie dokie, what do we have here? We have Leighton. He was the admiral who tried to set up a dictatorship on Earth. Action. Target a ship and place 2 time tokens on this card. The target ship attacks last this turn, 1 to 2. 4 points, skill 6, elite talent slot, and he's an admiral. I like him so much. And the reason I like him is because so many people care so much about captain skill, and whenever I go into like a big fancy game online, I'm typically up against ridiculously high captain skills to the point where it's like I never even plan on shooting first, because, well, sometimes I do, but it doesn't work out because someone's flying a 13 captain skill. I like this just because it's like, yeah, you know what? Your captain skill? Screw it. It doesn't matter. So, he's a 7 just for that. Finally, we have Worf. Here's something important to know. Alliance was not designed by WizKids. And they weren't made at the same time as the Boldly Go Federation faction pack. So the photon torpedoes... I think it's the photon torpedoes? My brain's just kind of went... Oh, it's not the photon torpedo, sorry. It's the battle-hardened elite talent. See, the battle-hardened elite talent is very similar to the Sao Paulo elite talent. Now, see, Worf's ability lets you spend a battle stations token to convert all your blanks to hits. Now, I think the people at WizKids were thinking, well, that means, like, there's a 1/4 chance that your dice is going to be a blank. There's a 1/4 chance it's going to be a battle stations. if you roll some blanks, more blanks than you get battle stations, you can spend your battle stations to get your blanks into a hit. It improves your battle stations quality, essentially, a little bit. And when you pair it with the Sao Paulo, you get a 100% hit rate. Because you get your battle stations token back. So you can convert your blanks to hits, and then you can convert your battle stations to hits. Problem is, and they probably thought that was going to be balanced because he'll only work on the Sao Paulo. Unfortunately, Alliance added a card which allows you to do the exact same thing as an elite talent, so now you can put him on any ship, and any ship can get 100% hit rate. Yeah, he's a 7. Okay, moving on to crew, we've got Kira Nerys. I really want to play her, but I haven't played her yet. Free action. Place. I really wish she would have been a captain, though. I want to put her on Bajoran ships, and I don't have that Bajoran prize ship. In fact, I think that's the only Bajoran ship I don't own. Oh, wait, no. I don't own Interceptor 8. Kira Nerys. Free action, place 3 time tokens on this card, and target an opposing ship at range 1. Disable 1 tech upgrade equipped to the target ship, then roll 1 attack die. On a hit or a crit, discard 1 crew equipped to the target ship. This is a little weird of an ability, but it's thematic. It's like she's sabotaging a system, and maybe if somebody sees her trying to sabotage it, she knocks them unconscious. So yeah. Oh, no, she kills them, because it's a discard. Use Wei Yun to protect you. Okay. Yeah, alright. I'm gonna say she's an okay card. Okay, good, great, amazing. I don't think I've seen people use her competitively. I haven't played her yet. I mainly like it just because it's a Kira card, and we need more Kira. Next we have Julian Bashir, he's a 7. Why is he 7? This is the same Bashir I showed you earlier with Wei Yun. He's the one who just, for free, removes either a disabled token or 2 time tokens from your crew. But more than that, you can also remove the disabled token or 2 time tokens from a friendly ship. So he doesn't even need to be on that ship. So if you don't have enough crew slots to run him, you run him on a support ship like the Tiananmen, and you just fly beside you, and he'll do it. But guess what? He's even better than that, because you can remove a disabled token on an enemy ship as well. Yeah. Now, if you do that, the enemy rolls -1 attack die, which means he, for free, can reduce your enemy attack dice by 1. Or he can just break your old Doctor combos, Phlox combos, by just removing disabled tokens for free. He is amazing. About as amazing as Ezri Dax. He's 2 points, by the way. If you use Bashir with starter set O'Brien with Bashir, you can just fire those. You can just disable your tech, disable your weapons, and you can just get them back. Ezri Dax. First amazing feature is she adds 1 crew upgrade to your ship, which is great. And whenever 1 or more time tokens will be placed on the ship's captain or a crew upgrade equipped to the ship, place 1 fewer. This is actually really great ability. So, now some people got angry that she exists. In fact, some people kind of don't like these 2 cards. The thing is a lot of the older cards in the game are disables, and they're overpriced. So, the logic is, let's create 2 cheap cards, which remove those time tokens, remove those disabled cards, and that allows you to play older cards. It's important. Next we have Sarita Carson. I like her a lot. She's fun to use. She lets you perform a red move, 1 or 2, but during the combat phase. And she's a 2 time tokens card, or if you pair her with Ezri, you can use her every turn, but you'll need to take a green move afterwards to get rid of that Ox. Unless you run her with Benjamin Sisko. Where is Benjamin Sisko? Benjamin Sisko. Then he gets rid of the Ox. So, Benjamin Sisko, Ezri, Carson, you run them together. Ship 5 is great, so she's a great card. I'd say she's a good card. Not the best movement card, but she's one of the best. Good card out of play. Erkman or Enkumans. Enrukuman. Someone can pronounce his name right. Inuklumans. When attacking or defending, place 2 time tokens on this card. And target a defending ship. No, target a friendly ship. Range 1 to 2. This ship may use 1 battle station's evade or scan token beside that target ship as if it was beside this ship this turn. He's a 2-point card. Now, I pointed out earlier that with the blind boosters, and even the old card packs, you typically get 1 of every slot. And that's so you could just use the ship, even if you didn't have other ones. In this case, having all these 2-point crew, I like, because what it is you take Ezri and you combine her with him, or you combine those two, and you've basically got a powerful card that works once a turn. So these 2 cards, I think, were added to the game. So Ezri would have a purpose in this pack beyond just making old crew better. Now we're on to the Defiant fixes. I say fixes because they're not quite the fixes I would have chosen, but they're all right. Phaser cannons. Defiant only, forward firing arc only. Attack. 4 dice, place 3 time tokens on this card, and target an opposing ship. Range 1 to 2. After attacking with this, it's just a 4 dice attack. After attacking with this, you can attack with your primary weapon. Shaboom! Now there's some debate in the community of whether the Sao Paulo's ability can be triggered more than once. I think it can be triggered more than once. But yeah, so that's cool. So even if you're flying the Sao Paulo with phaser cannons without using Morph, you can then use the battle stations on this attack and then your primary attack. This is a good ship, a good card, and I'll play it. We've got Dorsal Torpedo Pod. This is not our first Federation 360 torpedo upgrade. The first one, I think, came with our Phoenix. Came with the Phoenix. So this is a Akira class only, 3 points. And this is something that should have been given to all the Akira classes a long time ago, which is a 360 torpedo attack. Because that was one of the things that Akira specifically could do. It was lined with torpedo bays, so it could fire them sideways. Anyway. This ship may target a ship with opposing I'm really tired, I'm sorry. Basically, it lets you shoot torpedoes in any direction. You don't need to disable or anything, which makes it better than the old 360 torpedoes, but the old 360 couldn't work on ships with a rear firing arc. But they could work on a lot of different ships, like Akira's. Anyway, this is a good card, and I'll play it, because it helps us. This is one of my most favorite new cards. Experimental Torpedo Bay. Start of the game. Place a torpedo upgrade with a printed SP cost of 5 or less beneath this card. Combat phase, discard this card. Flip the card beneath this card up and equip it to the ship. It's 2 points. Basically, you know all those old torpedoes you have? Sure, the disabled ones may suck. But the time token ones were pretty good, you know. Let's say you have a 2 dice ship, right? Or maybe you're even using a 1 dice ship, like an Ares class. An Aerie class. The new torpedoes. Actually, they're right here. The new torpedoes. Let's talk about the new torpedoes quickly. Everybody seems to love these. 2 points. It's 1 dice more than your primary weapon. Range 2 to 3. You have to spend a target lock to fire. Then you have to disable the card. And all your blanks become battle stations. So you can't target lock fire. You have to target lock, then use your action to battle stations. So you need to have a way of getting an extra battle stations, or alternatively, you need to have 2 turns. So you target lock on one turn, and then battle stations on the next turn. So if you're fighting with a big group of people, you better hope that your target doesn't blow up before you get to use your battle stations, otherwise you wasted a whole action. And you only get to fire this once, and then it's disabled. And then you have to re-enable it, and then you have to target lock again. And then you have to battle stations again. This is a perfect quality weapon. Scales with your ship, so you can put it on the real big ones to do big damage. That was one of the problems with old torpedoes. They didn't really work on 5 attack dice ships that well. But if you put them on tiny little ships like this, you're only rolling 3 guaranteed hits. Which can be fun, especially when you do a dumb combo like B'Elanna, Benjamin, and that dude from there. I already forgot his name. Point is, that's a lot of actions. You're funneling in to get a 3 dice perfect attack. I don't really think that's worth it. Now, that is balanced, though. I will admit that. That is balanced. It's a good card. And you get 2 of them. However, I prefer putting the old torpedoes on this guy. You know, throw the dice up to like 5 attack dice. And you get that 1 battle stations to crit conversion. But now you can throw that card on there for 2 points. I have used this in a lot of builds. And I don't play the game that much. I'm playing it more now, actually. Just as on the side. Literally on the side. Like my computer is beside me. And I turn over and then I start playing with the ships. Okay, a Blade of Hull Armor. This is back to the Akira fixes. Defiant fixes. When defending during the roll defense dice step, roll +1 attack die. That is probably the best ability this has. The next up is when defending, convert all crits to hits. That makes more sense for higher hull ships. The Defiant has 3 hull. As soon as you start taking crits, that's kind of like you're on your last legs. The good news is you don't get warp core breaches, unless you are forced to get one, I guess. Or you take damage when you're not defending, like if you run into an obstacle. So this card here, I would say, is a good card, and I would play it. It's not fantastic. It's not the fix I was really hoping for, but it's a fix. This next card, I really like this. Add 2 to your ship's shield value. We haven't gotten too many of these outside of Alliance. 4 point. Federation only, and the drawback is it's 5 hull only, which is one of the things that makes Akira's good. Akira's have 5 hull, so Akira's can use this. Remove this card from play, repair up to 3 shields in a ship. I really like this. I'd say it's a good card you could play. It would be a great card if it was more than 1 faction and was a 4. Metaphasic Sweep. Do I like it more than the Escape Pod token? I don't know. Free action. Discard this card. Perform a target lock action as a free action, even if the target has a cloak token beside it. I love this card so much. It's a great card. It's a 1-point tech. You can fit it on ships very easily. I love it for Alpha Strike builds, because sometimes you build an Alpha Strike that needs a target lock, and your enemy is flying a cloaked fleet. So, yeah, Metaphasic Sweep. I once equipped a Bajoran scout ship. No, not a scout ship. It was a solar sail. With this, and photonic cannon, and I think I had Wharf, so it could do a 100% perfect quality 10 dice attack. It was brilliant. We are now on to our new card type called an Ambassador. So these do not require slots. They do not count as upgrades. They are simply cards equipped to a ship. Laxana Troy. Negotiations accepted. Oh, right, yeah, sorry. I should probably explain how these work. These are all 3 points. You get Sarek, Luxana, Troy, some of the other faction packs have these now. The way they work is, at the very start of the game, I think setup, you choose an enemy ship, and you open negotiations with them. And they can accept your negotiation, or they can deny your negotiation. And they are not permitted to destroy your ship. If they do destroy your ship, it automatically activates negotiations denied. These abilities can be drawbacks. They can have all sorts of different weird ones. Some of them, are if you attack my ship, if you attack the diplomat ship, the diplomat ship immediately gets to make an attack against you. Stuff like that. Some of them are simple, like you get to disable. But the idea is if you target a ship that can't accept the negotiations, it automatically goes to denial. Okay, negotiations accepted. At the start of the game, target a captain or crew upgrade equipped to the target ship. Whenever this ship moves within range 1 of the target ship, disable the captain equipped to this ship and the target captain or crew upgrade. I like that. I think it's supposed to represent that she's like a pain in the head. Gives you headaches and is annoying. And it's like, oh no, it's her again. So I would say she's an okay card. Okay, on to Sarek. Okay, you know what? She's probably a good card. Oh yeah, negotiations denied. If they deny your negotiations, place 3 time tokens or a disabled token on the target captain or crew upgrade. That's not quite as good. So essentially, this is an ability that sucks for both you and the enemy player. And the enemy could just choose this, and I think the enemy would probably just choose to disable their captain. So, what's the deal with that? The problem with this, though, is that there are some ambassadors that are really good, and there are some ambassadors like her that are less good, but since they're all the same, you expect them to be as good as each other, but they aren't. So she's an okay card, simply because she's not as good as the other ambassadors. Okay, Sarek. He is dual faction, our first dual faction ambassador. Oh, and this ship and the target ship are within range 1 to 3 of each other. Neither ship may attack each other, unless there's no other target. So that's if they accept negotiations. If they deny negotiations, place 3 type tokens on all weapon upgrades equipped to the target ship, so it's forced to disarm, essentially. I like that ability. Especially this no target ability. Mind you, though, keep in mind, they can choose to deny the negotiations by, I think, blowing up your ship. I think that's how it works. Oh, but no, they wouldn't even be able to get that opportunity because they wouldn't be allowed to shoot it. I'm going to say he's good. I haven't used either of them. I may have used Sarek. Then we've got our maneuver dial. So there's the Defiant. I spoke about it before. It's identical to the... Well, it's very similar to both the Saber and the Jem'Hadar attack ship. It has the come about of the Jem'Hadar attack ship, and it's got the white 2 turns of the Saber. Got the Akira class. It's similar, but it's got red turns. That's why in Alliance, sometimes I choose the Miranda over the Akira. You've got the Galaxy. Like I said, it's not the best at turning, so you might want to use Jadzia with that. And then you've got, of course, the Miranda. This is an Ambassador Rule card. And then we've got 2 missions here. I'm going to try and summarize them quickly for you. Okay, on to the missions. So first, let's talk about Insurrection. So, well, first thing to note, unlike the old missions where you flip them sideways, these ones you flip them upside down, and I find that very confusing. So with the Insurrection, it's based off of the movie Insurrection. Apparently this pack, there was like a sort of hint that this pack may have originally had a Sovereign, which it doesn't. But hey, the next faction pack's supposed to have a Sovereign. So, this is based off Insurrection. It's 1 Federation versus 2 enemy ships of any real faction. The Ugh. The Federation ship deploys in orbit of a planet. The enemies deploy on the line. There's a space station. It's represented by a minefield off to the side, and it's extracting particles from the planet in the form of mission tokens, and you have to attack the station, and your damage brings the mission tokens back to the planet. If all the mission tokens go back to the planet, the space station is destroyed. If all the mission tokens are siphoned from the planet, the space station collector thing succeeds in its mission and the enemies win. So there's a bunch of obstacles. There's 6 obstacles thrown throughout the battle map, which count as the Briar Patch, and they have if a ship passes through it, it takes additional damage for every... Oh wait, no, this is the Briar Patch rule applies to the whole battlefield. So across the whole battlefield, if you perform a maneuver greater than 1, you take damage for... Sorry, a maneuver greater than 2, you take damage for every speed level above 2. You can choose to place an auxiliary power token beside your ship in order to negate one of those damage, though. Now, in that movie, there was a plotline how the planet kept people young, so that factors in here in the form of metaphasic radiation. So, during the end phase, you can remove a disabled token or 2-time tokens from your captain, crew, admiral, or elite talent upgrades. Then we've got the gas pockets, which are the objective tokens. If you fly through one, then you have to disable a token. No, you have to destroy a shield token and place an auxiliary power token beside your ship. And let's see, what are the objectives for this one? So the enemy player, you either destroy the Federation ship, or you siphon all the tokens away from the planet. And the way that works is you just take 1 token away from the planet and put it on the machine. The machine starts with 6, the planet starts with 3. I think that's a pretty good system, actually, for how it repairs itself. It just... Every time it repairs itself, it's siphoning from the planet. So the enemies can either kill the Federation or let it siphon from the planet, and the Federation win if they destroy the siphoning machine, which is represented by a minefield. And this has an optional difficulty changer by changing the number of mission tokens. So this one seems interesting. I would probably like to use it with the Sovereign and the Riker maneuver, because that's based off of that movie. But I might hold off on playing this until I get the new faction pack. So, as I was saying, I think I'd like to play this mission, but I would probably wait until after I get the new faction pack, as that's probably going to come with a new version of the Enterprise E, and it might be fun to play this mission with all of those Neo cards, especially because this mission was probably built for that ship. Our second mission, because faction packs come with 2, or they used to, is a rescue mission, which is, I believe, based off of the episode where the USS Odyssey gets destroyed. And funnily enough, so it is... Okay. Funnily enough, it involves an upgrade that you get in this pack here. Okay, so Operation Rescue, it's Dominion versus Federation. You have 3 Federation ships with 125 SP. One of them has to be a Galaxy class, and the other 2 can be of hull 3 or less. So you've got your Defiant, and you got your Miranda. And there, you've got your 3 ships. One of them is going to be a disabled ship that you're rescuing, so it can't have unique cards. Oh, sorry, it says it can't be a unique or mere unique captain, cannot be a shuttle, and it must... Oh, and it can't have more than 3 cards equipped to it. Reminds me of Paul's custom campaign rules. No more than 3 cards. And that is 125 SP. The enemy Dominion fleet is 75 SP. Has to have at least 3 ships, and all of them have to be 3 hull or less. So, up until the release of Gul Dukat's Bird of Prey, you could only fly Jem'Hadar ships on that mission, I guess. What's interesting is it says each ship may be equipped with a suicide attack upgrade for 0 points, and it doesn't need the tech slot. So you either have to buy 3 of those, or you can just, proxy it in, and I think that's what they meant you to do. So the the disabled ship, yeah, that's a note. This peg does not stay on properly. That's a complaint. So the disabled ship remains in orbit of a planet, near orbit, so within range 1 of a planet. These guys start at a minefield token, which represents the Bajoran wormhole. And what happens is the enemies can deploy on the other side of the planet, basically not within range. Two of the disabled ship, but they also deploy within range 2 of the planet. So they're sort of in a far orbit, and the ship's in a near orbit. They are not permitted to attack the disabled ship. The disabled ship literally cannot do anything until one of the Federation ships gets within range 1. Then it comes to life. And now your mission is to get across the map to the other side to the wormhole with at least 75 SP of your fleet surviving. So my advice would be dump as many points onto this disabled ship as possible, because it is going to be, dump everything on the disabled ship and then the Odyssey, and then try to keep them both alive. And if you can get all 75 points across the battlefield, and your other ship gets destroyed, you still win. The Dominion, on the other hand, has to... Where is it? The Dominion wins if they destroy the other Federation ships, except for the disabled ship. And in order to get out, you have to have either your maneuver template or the front of your maneuver template, I think it is, or the front edge of your ship has to be touching the wormhole to escape. Let me just double check that. If the front edge of the ship space or maneuver template touches the minefield token during the activation phase, that ship escapes to the Alpha Quadrant. Remove it from your game. So it is possible to overshoot. I think, right? No, it just says over the maneuver template. So yeah, no, you can't overshoot the wormhole. You can just fly into it. So, which of these missions would I want to play? Because I want to try and do a build. I think I'm actually going to go with the... I think it's the Dominion one. Let me just double check. Here we go. First battle of Chintaka. So, alright. That is 150 SP and 150 SP, but it's only 75 SP for Dominion. Okay, alright. Well, before I get to the build section, let's talk about the faction pack itself. Is it worth getting? I think it is. I picked up 2. I picked up 2 partly for the Miranda classes and for getting more generic cards for the Defiance, because I already have some Defiance. I have the Valiant. Here's something important to note about buying multiple faction packs. They come typically with not too many generic cards. So you don't really get the maximum value out of them if you buy more than one. The old blister packs came with plenty of generics, but you can really only count on a few in the new ones. Hopefully they change that and bring in more generics, but I don't see them doing that anytime soon. It is definitely worth picking up one. If you're new to the game, I would say pick up one and then pre-order the other guy. Or actually wait for the other one to come out, just to see what it's actually like. Because sometimes they delay it, and if you're new to the game, you might get discouraged if you buy it and then have to wait like a year and a half for it to come out. But it's definitely an amazing pack. Lots of cool cards. Cards that fix old ships like the Defiant, upgrade the... it was really a fix-it pack when you think about it, because it gave the Akira 360 Fire, although it only came with one, which was a downside. Actually, yeah, that was a big problem. It should have come with 2 Akira fixes and 2 Defiant fixes. So you could upgrade 2 ships. So you could upgrade the ships that you have and the ships that you used to fly, but it doesn't. You have to buy another pack if you want to upgrade those as well, which is a downside. That was my biggest complaint, I remember. The fact that I had to buy a second one just to be able to upgrade my Defiant, my old Defiant. I don't own the old Defiant, I own the Valiant. But if I wanted to upgrade the Valiant, I had to choose between the 2, which was a bit disappointing. Especially because the X-Wing game, sometimes you'll buy a new ship and it will come with 5 upgrade cards, so you can upgrade 4 other ships. And they're all identical. Like, it'll be like a 1 per ship upgrade, and you can just throw them on your other ships. This one, you have to buy a whole other pack, and now you end up with a bunch of useless uniques that you don't need. Okay. So, there are downsides to buying the faction packs, but if you're just buying one, it's pretty good. Okay, now, how should I build for this mission? Well, first, let's grab a model for the Romulan ship. We're going to run the Romulan ship in this. I'm going to try to run something from all these packs in this mission. I probably won't be playing the mission on camera, but just to give you guys an idea of what you can build with this stuff. This is our Dominion War video. Okay, so 150 SP. Well, we certainly have 150 SP of Federation upgrades, I'm pretty sure. But, let's just adjust this a bit. 75 SP worth Dominion, though. I don't think I'm going to get 75 SP out of this Dominion ship. Sure, I could say Romulans joined, but that's not what happened. If only there was, like, one really big Dominion ship that's worth a ton of points. Then I could use those 2. Oh! Wait, what am I talking about? There we go. Oops, almost broke the Enterprise, or the Odyssey. Yeek! Oh, I actually knocked over a bunch of stuff. Oops. Commit to the bit! So yeah, let's talk about Deep Space Nine. Oh no, my little ships. That's right! We got Deep Space Nine, or Terok Nor. And before you say anything, yes, it is built almost to scale. With Defiant class ships, they can go up to the little docking rings. The Defiant's a little big for it. Okay, so yes, this is the grand finale of our video. So it comes with all of this stuff here. 3 rules cards, because there's a lot of rules to do with this, and we'll touch on them lightly. Turning with this guy, turns 45 degrees at a turn. You just, first off, we need to identify the front. This is the back, Deep Space Nine. It is a 5088. It moves very slowly. It has speed 1 and speed 2, and the only speed 0 in the game. So if you want to turn it, you would select a, so this here is a green 0 rotate 45 degrees. That's a 0 rotate 90. That is a speed 0 stationary, 45 degrees, 90. And then you get a 1 diagonal back, 1 forward, 1 diagonal right, and then a 2 of those. So this has... There is one thing I'm worried about. So it doesn't have forward fire arcs. It has 3 90-degree arcs. And then a 360 arc. I don't think any of them count as primary arcs or even secondary arcs. 360 might count as a primary arc. The ship can make an attack from either of its arcs. If it chooses to shoot from its 360, it's limited to range 1 to 2. With its primary, at least. it can fire secondaries out of its 360 if it wants. If it turns, if you want to do a 45-degree turn, what you do is, that is the front, the opposite side of the Deep Space Nine name on the plate. And you just rotate it, and that's 45. You're doing a 90-degree. Rotate. 90 degrees are white, 45s are green. To move it, it's similar to a Borg ship. To a Borg big ship. I don't have a maneuver template with me, so just pretend that this base that came with the Jaeger is a speed 1 move. To move it speed 1, you'd place the speed 1 template there, then you'd place another template there, you'd remove the speed 1, and you'd move the whole thing over. Like that. Now, speed 2 moves are red. So, there is actually a brilliant little card that comes with Alliance that turns your speed 2 forward and bank moves into greens. So if you equip that to Deep Space Nine, it can go zoom at speed 2. And people don't expect to see Deep Space Nine flying across the map that fast. The other thing you can do is pair it up with one of the Dominion captains, who actually removes auxiliary power tokens from friendly ships. Okay, let's see. Let's get into the cards. First, here's your maneuver card. It's got 4 factions written on it. It looks like the maneuver template's been sponsored by a lot of people, and it's a race car. Anyway, let's start with Tarok Nor, because this is the one I'll be using in the build section. It is 5188. Tech, weapon, crew, 44 points, target lock, scan, battle stations. Instead of making a normal attack with your primary weapon, you may fire in any direction at range 1 to 3 for attack dice. I really like this ability. Not many 360 attacks let you go range 3. That is a 7. Oh, in regards to collisions with this, this thing doesn't lose its action when it bumps, unless it bumps into a hull 8 or more, I think. Small ships can fly over its base. I think they lose their action if they fly over its base. And it's considered a collide if they hit the pylons. We got Deep Space Nine. Each time you defend, during the roll defense dice step, you may roll up to 2 additional defense dice. If you do, disable one of your active shields for each additional dice you roll. I consider this a good ship, and I play it. It's good because it's a Federation ship with 5 attack dice. It's also the strongest Bajoran ship in the game. See? So that is a 6. Now, there was a Deep Space Nine promo that you could get from some tournaments. That was just a card. It was good for home games and I think certain scenarios, but you weren't allowed to use it in tournaments. But it came with a Deep Space Nine card, which is usable with the space station. Which is, oh, when firing torpedoes, do not disable the torpedoes. Now wait a minute. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? That sounds an awful lot like the Jaeger. It is. Now, that ability isn't necessarily the greatest on the Jaeger, but on a space station with 5 attack dice, the new torpedoes would make this a 6 dice ship. You put Worf on here, and you put Battle Hardened from Alliance on here. Now the space station can with a target lock, someone give it a battle station somehow, maybe a Maress 709 combo. And now that is dishing out 6 dice, perfect quality attack, range, I think it is range 2 to 3, in a 360 arc. Yep. That's pretty good. So this is actually pretty dang great. Well, yeah, great ship. It's not a 7, it's a 6. Okay. This came with a few crew. Thematic, it's like one for every faction that have the station. Start with Elam Garrick. Yeah, let's go with Elam Garrick here. So, he is one of my favorite types of cards. He's a crew that has an elite talent. They're perfect for if you want a what was it? I stab at the suicide attack build. During the modified attack step of the combat phase, you may disable this card to add one evade result to your defense dice roll. And you don't require a faction penalty for him or his upgrade. However, if you disable him, you can't use your upgrade. I think he's an okay card. Next we've got Takar. We're almost done here. We've got 4 cards left, and then we're done. Takar. If your ship is not cloaked, disable all your remaining shields and target a ship at range 1 to 2 that is not cloaked, and discard this card. It is the same card as the Jemadar that we were looking at earlier. It's the same thing. Actually, let's just go check that out. Yeah, same thing. Except he does it at range 1 to 2 as opposed to this guy who does it at range 1. Oh, wait, no, he does a bit more. What am I talking about? He does a bit more. Yeah, no. He, so he can punch through, so you disable all your shields. Oh, yeah, no, he's different, sorry. I'm sorry. He's range to 2, you disable all your shields, you target a ship that has no active shields, and it's not cloaked. You discard this card and 1 crew upgrade of your choice from that ship. Then you can disable the captain and all the remaining crew. And while the captain's disabled, he has a skill of 1. That is pretty good. Oh yeah, sorry. That is pretty good. Actually, I think that's great. Taking out a whole Federation ship? Yeah, he's great. I don't think I would play him, but he's great. Maybe if I was doing like Klingon Pure in a campaign against Federation. Okay, we've got Seska. Oh wait, no. It's Tarul. Just played by the same actor. Add 1 tech upgrade. She actually came with the Defined, the original Defined. When your ship is cloaked, during the roll defense dice step of the combat phase, you may choose to roll 3 less defense dice and add 1 evade to your result for the defense roll. Not great, but if you are in a situation where you can't live by the die, kill by the die, because luck has not been on your side, using her might be good. Although you have to disable it before you roll. If the cloaking device upgrade is deployed to Tarul's ship, you do not need to disable that card when you perform the action listed on it. This is actually pretty good. Now, I don't own the Defiant, so you'd think this wouldn't be useful, but there's like mirror universe cloaking devices and stuff that work similar to that. So this could be useful for them. So that's a good card. We've got Quark. Most people use Quark in competitive builds. So he's a 7. He lets you smuggle a tech or weapon of cost 5 or less to your ship for 2 points. Can't be a Borg, though. You can discard Quark at any time in order to deploy it to your ship. So he's a smuggling card, kind of like the torpedo upgrade. But instead of torpedoes, he works on a whole bunch of stuff. So he's a 7, like a lot of people like that. Okay, we've got Odo. This is different from the Odo in the Shuttlecraft. Action, target a ship at range 1 to 3, even if that ship is cloaked or has active shields. Disable this card and 1 upgrade on the target ship. If that upgrade is disabled... Oh, so he's the one who matches the Dominion guy. Here we go. See? They're the same. Except he works at range 1 to 3, whereas this guy works at range 1. And you can deploy him to other types of ships, so he's much better. So I'll put him as a okay card. I don't think that type of power is really all that good, but he is significantly better than the other guy. Range bonuses, and you can equip him to more ships. But yeah, he's the, in case you skipped the other part of the video, he lets you disable an enemy crew upgrade and then use that abilities action, that upgrades action. Now we got a Vic Fontaine. I mean, if it was going to be in any pack, it has to be Deep Space Nine, right? I think this is one of the few new cards that came, because most of these are reprints. This upgrade counts as either a crew upgrade or a tech upgrade, your choice. If an enemy upgrade would affect one of your crew upgrades, roll 2 defense dice. If you roll at least 1 defense, like evade, ignore the effects of the enemy upgrade. You do not pay a action penalty when you equip this to a Federation ship at 3 points. I'd say that's a good card. I like that kind of protection. Oh, sorry. Wait. Okay. Good. Okay, good. Good. Great. Amazing. Right. Yeah, I like that. It kind of fits, because he's sort of acted as the ship's counselor. And then finally we got Benjamin Sisko. Skill 7 for 4SP. So he's the same as Maxwell. In terms of, like, skill and point cost. During the roll defense dice step of the combat phase, if your ship is in the forward firing arc of 2 or more ships, makes sense why it came with Deep Space Nine, because that's big, it's going to be in firing arcs. Roll 1 extra defense dice against all attacks for those ships. That's good, because Deep Space Nine has a defense of 0, which means it's very vulnerable to swarm attacks. Each time your ship receives a damage card, normal or critical, increase your captain skill by +1 for the rest of the game. Max +2. I mean, that's not great, but you're getting to a skill 9. The bonus skill remains even after the damage has been repaired. So this is especially good for Deep Space Nine because it has so much hull. I would say that that's a good card. Yeah. So that is Deep Space Nine. Should you buy it? No, you don't need to buy it. It's extra. It's just a big, silly thing. But I love it so much. I love playing Deep Space Nine. Because no one expects you to put Deep Space Nine on the board. It's so fun to bring into a campaign, or bring into, like, a highly competitive game. You just drop this on the board, and they're like, oh, but, okay? It's fun. So later, I'll be showing you some builds that you can make with all these cards. Well, a build with all these cards, but right now it is nearly 4 a.m. because this video is longer than I thought. So, good night, everyone. Okay, now that we've taken a look at expansions, let's come up with a build for this mission. 150 SP, Federation, and 75 Dominion, and then another 75, which is provided by the orbital weapons platforms. So first on our roster, we have the Jaeger. And I realized something about the Jaeger while working on this build that I hadn't considered before. So, when attacking with your primary torpedoes, you do not need to disable your torpedoes. We're going to use that ability. For Captain, I thought Jadzia Dax. The reason being is the Jaeger has less shielding than Sao Paulo. We're also dealing with the fact that it doesn't have a come about. I don't think it has a come about, right? Oh no, it does. Okay. But it's mainly because it does not have a rear firing arc. And it has 1 less shield. So I thought, let's give it bonus maneuverability with Jadzia Dax. Then we have Experimental Torpedo Bay, which is concealing the Jaeger 5-dice torpedoes. Now, why am I using them? Well, because these torpedoes take a target lock to fire, and then you gotta use an action to re-enable, and then it's a target lock to fire.
So it's 2 actions to fire these. However, the Jaeger, you don't disable them, meaning that it's 1 action to fire them. Meaning that for 1 action, the Jaeger becomes a 5 dice attack ship. Which is on par with Deep Space Nine. So the Jaeger's going to be throwing some of the most dice in the game right now. So that's what we got there. So the Jaeger can perform additional maneuvers and throw 5 attack dice. Our next ship is a support ship. It's a 12-point Miranda with and it's going with Sarek. So Sarek can protect the Miranda, so I can select the most dangerous Dominion ship. And then I can say my little support ship here is going to be safe from that guy. Next we have the Sao Paulo with Worf. So every time it takes a battle station's action, its first attack is going to hit. We've got Blade Hull armor to make it a bit tougher. It's an extra sheet, well, an extra evade dice, and it doesn't take criticals. And then we've got phaser cannons. So it can perform 2 attacks. So we've got 2 hitters and support craft. Our next ship is the USS Odyssey. It's our secondary support vessel. It's, I guess you could say, our lead ship. I've got Cisco there, so it can use its named ability to improve the quality, the defensive quality of, well, reduce the offensive quality, I think this one is, right? Target ships roll +2 defense dice. They convert 1 blank into 1 battle station. Oh, when they defend. Okay, so this I read it wrong first time. So this conversion here, converting blanks to battle stations, is evasive. It's defensive. It's not modifying your enemy's dice. I was mixing that up with... So this ship can use its ability. Cisco can remove it. Well, it can remove the Ox, so it can keep doing it. Then I got Elizabeth Shelby, because Galaxy-class ships have 1 attack, 1 defense. So this boosts its defense up to 2, so it's on par with the smaller ships. And then I gave it advanced shields. So its total durability, instead of being 9, will be 11. And finally, I had to remove some cards from my initial build in order to fit this in. We have a Romulan ally for this mission, in the form of a generic. Now keep in mind, this is supposed to be 25 now, not 28. Got Tibuk. He allows us to get Intercept. Intercept, of course, is the one that lets you do an additional attack if someone does a green move near you. In your forward firing arc, I think that's what it is. Oh, it's just if they end up in your forward firing arc. Then, I did the combo I spoke of before. I took Elam Garrick, gave him Preemptive Strike. So this ship can make a maximum of 3 attacks a turn, but they are all one-off attacks, so it can only do that once. I thought that might be fun. And then you've got a big tanky ship. Next up, so that is 150 SP. Now we're moving on to the Dominion. Okay, now, as for our Dominion, it's a fairly simple build. I was restricted in that we had to use Suicide Attack. So if you want to use all 150 points, or at least all 75 of the points you have optional, it's 75 of them are the orbital stations. So, Tarek Noor with the 365, and Wei Yun just for his captain skill. That is 48 points. You add 22. And that brings it to, I think, 66 points. And then you add Suicide Attack, because the game says you have to have Suicide Attack in for this mission. You give it a generic captive. So that will get you your 75 points. Now, I think there are some better builds you can do if you actually swap out the named for the generic, which is 13 points. Catch is the most I could get it to with just these cards was 74 XP as opposed to 75. Any more than that, you shoot over. It's kind of like Texas Hold'em. But I'll show you one of those examples. Got Terracnor for 40 points. And Loran. And she gets us long range scan essentially for free because she discounts an upgrade by 2 points. And then I'm giving it Omit Clan. So Deep Space Nine gets a... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to put him on that ship. Because this ship's probably going to get blown up very quickly. Deep Space Nine is going to be the number one target. Besides, there's nothing that requires an action here, so it has quality. Oh wait, no, never mind. Deep Space Nine is going to be using his primary weapon, so we're going to keep him on Deep Space Nine. So he makes sure one of these dice is always going to be a hit. And then our support ship for Deep Space Nine is a Dominion attack ship. Consider this a 13-point ship because of the update. We've got Wayu. I'm just using him for his captain skill. And Phased Polaron Beam, so I can fire through shields. And that is our Dominion build.